Hey. Hey, how's it going? What's up? Hey, Art? Yeah? Oh, I definitely said that wrong. Thank you for the Prime. Thank you for subscribing. Hey, how's it going? Hey, how we all doing today? Streamlabs is cooperating. That's amazing. Autumn, thank you for 30 months. Thank you so much. I didn't even know. Is that the most? How many months are we even on? Hello. Wait. Do 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 do. Welcome, chat. I'm good. How are you? Hello, dudes. How are we doing today? How is it going? How are we feeling? I'm doing good. It is the most because I am cool, because Autumn has been subscribed the entire time. Do 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 do. The Nike shirt. You know what I found online that I decided I want to learn how to do so I could do it to my own clothes? There's a store that sells Nike and Champion sweatshirts, but they embroider like flowers and stuff around the logo, and I'm like, I don't need to pay the 90 pounds that you're asking me to pay for that. I could learn simply how to do it myself instead, because I have like an embroidery learning thing, and I want to learn how to embroider. I'm gonna start embroidering my clothes. That sounds like fun. That sounds like a good time. I adjusted some things today, so don't mind me while I adjust them again now that I'm live. Is that too bright? I lowered the saturation because it felt like too much before. That's better. Do 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 do. We're gonna be reading your assumptions about me. Shelby, it's too hot. Please take off the sweater. I was also out at the beach today in this sweater. I'm in a skirt though, so at least I wasn't entirely melting. And by the beach, there is a breeze. But I very much underestimated how long I could actually sit outside in the sun in a sweater, and it was about 30 minutes before I came home. I went and I sat. I answered some of the assumptions you've already sent on Instagram. I was out in this sweater and I came home so fast. I don't know why. As soon as I stepped outside, I was like, okay, I didn't make a mistake. It was actually pretty cool. It was like cool, there's a breeze. But then I like actually stepped out onto the stones of the beach. And I was like, oh no. Oh, dear God, no. But I sat out there for like 30 minutes. You know what's the worst about being here in the UK? So it's really hot right now, which is unfortunate. But you know, it's the summer. When you come in from a hot day into your house, there's no air conditioning. You're not coming into a cool house. You're coming into an equally, but maybe slightly less hot house. So like there's nowhere safe. There's nowhere to go to cool off. You come inside and it's just still warm. It sucks. And then you go to bed and it's still warm and there's no air conditioning. They don't do air conditioning here. So there's no safety from the warm. And it's only going to get worse. I need to get like a fan. It is cooler inside than it is outside. And at least this house is like away from direct sunlight a little bit. But yeah, they don't do AC here. So, you come in from a hot day to just a warm house. So there's no relief. And there's nothing better in LA when you come in from like a particularly hot day and you got the air blasting and you just walk into what feels like a refrigerator that is your home. You don't get to do that here. Link to the cat. Thank you for the Prime. Hazel, thank you for the 100 bits. Thank you so much. Then, you know, yeah, maybe short sleeves would be the option that would be like slightly better than what I'm doing now. It isn't honestly too warm in this house though. I'm actually very comfortable. Not out in the sun, very comfortable. If I was out in the sun again, wouldn't be comfortable anymore. I came inside because it was so uncomfortable, but I lived. There's also just in this particular house, no ceiling fans or anything. Like, there is nothing. I just have the windows open. And that's about it. How do I make this not, like, readjust white balance? That's what I want to do. I've been tinkering with things. And hello. Oh. I don't know how to make it not do that. But if I can't figure it out, then we're just stuck this way. It's fine. But I've been messing. I'm gonna get a new camera for this little away setup eventually. Yeah, I don't know where anywhere on here there is auto adjust for this thing, so I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna not touch it. Exposure, wait. I see why it was on automatic now. Oh. Okay. Not automatic, but I can adjust it. Is that good? And I don't change white balance now when I move? I'll take it. Oh, heck yeah, that's better. Yay! We're gonna read assumptions about me that you sent either to my Instagram story or to my Twitter. Those are the only two places I ended up sending it for today, but I want to do more streams like this where I have you send in things, either assumptions, questions, confessions would be really, really fun. So that's what we're doing today. And I'm excited. I sent quite a few. I am not sorry. I hope I can even get to them because there are a lot on my Instagram and I didn't even look at the Twitter ones. So let's just already start doing them. I'm going to sit like back here and all of the confessions are going to be on my phone because I'm not logged into my second. Oh, wait, no, I am logged into my Twitter on here. I don't know how I want my hair to be. What a dilemma. That's fine. So like a Q&A. Like a Q&A, but people making assumptions, which in general we shouldn't do. But I asked for it, so, you know. There's only so much you can do about it. I also answered a bunch on Instagram already. If you want to go check my stories to read the ones that I've already answered. I'm going to do a couple of story times because one of the ones I answered was about the Slender Man story. Which I do have a video about the Slender Man story. But I'm going to retell it anyway. Man, I need to figure out some of the issues that I'm having with this setup. One, the laggy camera every once in a while, and two, the delayed Minecraft. I'm gonna figure that one out. We're not doing Minecraft today because I'm done with it. I'm over it. But it also has like a little bit of a lag with the camera every once in a while, and I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna tell the full story. Yeah, let's start with that. Slender Man. I did do a story time on my YouTube channel that is still there, I think. Trigger warning if you watch the actual video, because there's a mention of something a bit extreme, which I'm gonna reword for today's storytelling, so don't worry. But basically, in college, when I was a sophomore, was when, like, the Slender Man game and, like, whole story was at its peak of popularity, and I was a big fan. I love scary things. I love scary movies. I like scary games, but I don't usually like to play them myself. But Slender Man, I was a big fan, and me and my friends had this game that we'd play, which wasn't really much of a game, and honestly wasn't even fun for most of us in my friend group, which was, we took printer paper and a Sharpie, drew out all of the notes that you find in the game, and we started to hide them on each other. So my friend Dave especially hated this game, and which would made it even more fun for us to do to him. We would leave it in, like, his shower. We'd leave it in our friends' dresser drawers. We'd leave them in their piles of papers that they would find while they were in class. This is the game that me and my friends were playing. But at one point, I just decided to stick them in my window, which, fun fact, my sophomore dorm, somebody told me this. I don't know if it's actually true anymore, because somebody was like, that sounds like a thing to haze people with. They told me that this dorm was built by somebody that designed prisons. Feels accurate. My window faced inside, so there was a big atrium lounge area in the very center of the building, and half of the rooms faced inward and half of them faced outward. I had an inward facing room, so anyone in the lounge could see anything I would put in my windows, or me, if I happen to be in the window, which is why we would keep them closed. But I put one of the Slender Man notes in my window, and I would get compliments on it all the time, because people who knew the game would be like, oh, that's cool, and I was like, yay! But then the incident happened. What the story is all based around. There was an incident on the floor above mine where somebody left a Slender Man note on the door of a girl with a threat. A very unkind, very scary thing to do and leave, and honestly feel really bad for the girl. I still don't know who she was. I didn't know who she was, don't know who lived in that room, never found out what her name was or if I ever even had interacted with her ever at college. Ever. But somebody left a very terrifying and scary, threatening Slender Man note on her door. The difference was mine were hand-drawn with Sharpie and were just the notes from the game. Theirs was printed on glossy paper with a picture of Slender Man and their typed out threat. But because they were similar enough for campus police, they came knocking on my door. They came knocking on my door when I wasn't there at first. And they talked to my roommate, which they were not allowed to do. Broken rule number 1. They were alone in my room with my roommate, this one male cop and my roommate, with the door to our suite. We shared, so the two of us had one room. We had a shared bathroom with another room with another 2 girls. The doors were all closed, so male cop alone in the room with my female roommate. Broken rule. This is not allowed. Number 1, because there are many more that come. So he's like first interrogating her about me. And I don't know yet that this is about me. And she calls me and says, hey, there's a police officer here. And they want to talk to you. And I assumed he was talking to everyone in our rooms. So it wasn't about me. It was just that he was talking to all of us. And then I get there, and he sends my roommate out into our suite mate's room, and then closes the door. And now I'm alone with this man in my room. And he opens a folder, and immediately the first thing I see in this folder is a big printed out picture of me. Hate that. Didn't like that. Didn't know what it was about. Thought maybe it was, all of our pictures were in there. I thought all me and my roommate and our suite mates. But no, it was just me. It was just me. This whole folder was about me. This whole folder he put together and printed with information about me he flips open, I see my picture, and he reads out my home address, and he says, "Is this where you live?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So Mans did his research, which is spooky. Don't like that, but also he's a cop, so of course they can do that. Still spooky, didn't like that. And now that it's happened so many years ago, I don't remember it so perfectly. I did write it down very, very detailed on a Word document because my mom told me as soon as it happened, I called her and she said, write down everything that you remember, exactly how the experience went, and we're going to send it to campus police to report on this man. And I don't have that document here in England, so I can't read it from it directly. But basically, he's reading out my information, my home address, and he was like, "Do you want to go back there?" And I was like, "Not really. Like right now, I don't have a car." And he was like, "Because if you don't cooperate, you're gonna get kicked out of housing." And I was like, "I still don't know what this is about yet. I don't know why you're even talking to me still. But I will cooperate." And then he shows me the sign that was on this girl's door, as well as a photograph of my sign from my window, which looked completely different. Also, I don't even know how he knew my sign was related to the same man that was in the other sign. One being hand-drawn, like, spooky words, and the other one being a picture of Slender Man. But he must have done enough research to know that they came from the same place, the same game. But, so he starts asking me about my signs, and I'm like, "Oh, no, it's a game with my friends. It's from a video game. It isn't like..." I had to explain what Slender Man was to this person. Not only the game, but just like the internet legend of Slender Man, and he did not get what that all meant. And he was like, "Do you have any more signs?" And I went into my closet, I pulled them all out, because I had all of them. I had all 8 I drew out. And he took them. He didn't ask a whole lot of questions this first time he came around, and he said, "All right, I'm gonna go." And then he left. And then my roommates came in, my roommate, my suite mates, and we were talking about it, and it was all weird, and I didn't know still why. He just still didn't tell me what happened. He's just asking these questions, so he leaves for a while. Doing his investigation in the building, because he comes back and says, "I have a witness!" Anyway, I'm skipping ahead. He comes back with, our resident lady. There's like a person who is in charge of the dorm building. I forget what her title was, but she came with him because I think she caught wind that this was happening and was like, "You're not allowed in that room alone with these girls, but I'll go in with you while you do your second investigation." So he comes back. Not our RA, because RAs are per floor. This was the woman above the RAs for the building. Each floor had their own RA. But she was in charge of them, whatever that is. So she comes in with him, and he says, "You're going to want to sit down." So I sit down, and I'm like already freaking out. And he says, "I have a witness putting you on the floor upstairs where this sign was found." And I was like, bro, and it clicked that just 3 days before this incident, me and my friends decided to go upstairs. This is the first and only time we have ever stepped foot even on that floor ever. Because we wanted to see who lived in the rooms above us, because they were constantly banging on the floor and were rowdy and noisy. So we go upstairs, and we're standing outside of the door that is directly above mine. And while we're looking at their door, just kind of standing in the hallway, they open it, and we all scared each other. But the people in those rooms were actually people we knew, and we were like, "Oh, sorry, we're just checking out who lives above us. By the way, you're loud sometimes." And they were like, "Oh, sorry." But he says, "This is now a witness putting us on that floor, making me the #1 suspect of this crime," which he then finally explains to me is that somebody left this note on this girl's door. And I was like, that was the only time I've ever been on that floor. Also, he asked me earlier, "Where were you on this day at this time?" The day and time he lists are not the day and time I was on that floor. So I was like, I'm in class. I have an alibi, bitch. So, it made no sense. It gets juicier, don't worry. But anyway, he basically says he has a witness. He's got me placed on the 5th floor, for whatever floor it was, I don't remember. 4th, actually. Explain yourself. And also, I forget what else he said. I really wish I could remember. I wrote it all down. But I explained, I was like, that was a completely unrelated incident. We just happened to go up there. That was literally the only time I've literally even ever been on that floor. And it was just a coincidence that we bumped into those guys. A really unfortunate coincidence for me. And he says, I tell him my whole side of the story and explain the whole game and everything and all the signs and the posters. And he has all the evidence all gathered in a stupid little folder with my face in it. And he says, all right, I'm going to leave. Finish up like whatever my investigating requires. But if I have to come back here one more time, when I leave, you're coming with me. That I will never forget where his exact words was, if I have to come back again, you're coming with me down to the police station. I didn't appreciate that. That was rude. That was really rude. Also, I'm this little itty bitty sophomore in college. Teeny little skin and bones and just shivering and in tears, and he thinks I'm the one that threatened this girl. Why in ever would I be the number one suspect just because I have a kind of almost similar looking sign in my window, which he at least had to have the minimum knowledge of gathering are from a video game, because one sign had a picture of Slender Man and the other one just had a Sharpie written word that said like don't look or something. I don't remember what the Slender Man signs in the game say. Anyway, he leaves. And he does never come back, thankfully, because he threatened to bring me out with me. Well, with him if he ever did. But he didn't come back. And I wrote everything down I started bawling, and I called my mom, and she was like, write it all down. I'm going to report him. And we sent my written letter and went to the police station to report him. And what they told my mom, I wasn't allowed to go in actually with her, but what they told my mom was they profusely apologized because what the like head campus police, mind you, these aren't real police officers. This is campus police. So maybe a bit of an ego on that guy. But they profusely apologized to my mom, said they were going to fully investigate and question this specific officer because I was never a suspect, according to the rest of the police station and their particular actual investigation that was going on. They said I was never a suspect. He was never supposed to go and talk to me. He was never supposed to be alone with me. These are all the rules that he ended up breaking. And I was never going to lose housing. I was never going to get kicked out of school. They never thought it was me. It was obviously more than not likely that it was some boy playing a very sick prank and not me, a little girl with very good grades. Actually, college I didn't have good grades. But, you get the point. But what we all agree and think, me and my friends and my mom, was that this guy just really wanted to find someone easy to pin it on, because what we all figured out afterwards was there was no reason that he would think it was more likely to be me any more than my roommate who lived in the same room and had also a poster in the room, or either of my suite mates who also had posters in their windows from Slenderman, and all four of us were the four who went upstairs and were caught up there. So seemingly there was no reason that he had to pick me out from the four of us, except that he was really trying to get someone to just kind of fold and admit to doing something they didn't do so he could pin it on me and get a little pat on the back in his stupid little campus police office. I didn't even think of that until someone pointed it out after that. It doesn't make sense why they'd think it was me any more than any of the other three girls that all had the same posters and were also on the upstairs floor. But he must have printed out my photo and thought I looked like the weakest link. And he was right. I cried. But I didn't admit to nothing I didn't do. So that was the Slenderman story. And nothing ever happened to him either. I kept seeing him around campus, so he wasn't fired or anything, of course. He just got, I think, suspended for a little bit and, a stern talking to. Probably not, actually, though. That's just what they said they were going to do. You're not the asshole the cop was. Could you imagine thinking... I honestly... The fact that he could tell from all four of our photos that I would be the one to probably break easiest just feels a little rude, to be fair, also. But... yeah, I guess I got, them puppy dog eyes, usually. Every time my resting face is lost child, pretty much. And anytime I'm out, people think that I need help because I look scared by resting my face naturally. But anyway, Anyway, that's the Slenderman story. That was 20 minutes of the stream that was not reading an assumption, but people wanted to hear the story again, and I wanted to tell it again because it's kind of insane that it ever happened to me. And that's the most interesting thing that even ever did happen to me in college, to be honest. College, other than that, was like pretty boring, pretty tame, pretty normal. But that's my interrogated by the police, threatened to get kicked out and brought to jail story. Don't I just look like a felon to you? Don't I just give you criminal vibes? Did the police officer apologize? Absolutely not. No. Oh, God, no. The actual one that interrogated me? No. His boss? Yeah, but I didn't really care for that. I didn't care to hear it. And I didn't get to hear it either. I wasn't allowed in the room. Which is weird, because I was 19. So my mom I guess my mom just was like, you stay in the car. I'm going to go talk to them. And pulled a mom. Which, like, go mom. My mom's awesome. Isn't that a video? Yes, but some people have never seen it, and I decided to just tell it here again. Fun to go down memory lane from college. Telling stories. Stand my mom. Truly. Man, and you can imagine the amount of anxiety I had for the rest of the day, and also just, like, for weeks, because he said if he came back, he'd be bringing me back to the station, and I was like, what if he just shows up at any point? He could just decide to show up, and I wouldn't know if he was coming back or not for, like, that entire night and for, like, a week until we had our closure with the police department. Campus police, by the way. These weren't real cops. None of them were even real cops. I don't know that they ever caught the guy that did it, though, but apparently they had a different list of suspects, and they did suspect it was just a boy probably on that floor who lived there. Probably should get some cameras up in there, but I guess you can't really just put cameras everywhere all the time, for every scenario where you might be in danger. Wish they could, just put cameras everywhere, but all right, let's read some assumptions from Instagram. The first one I open, you're homo. I'm asexual. And you can find out more about what that means here at this video. I am LGBT. I'm asexual. On the asexual spectrum. I wouldn't say full-blown like 100%, but also it means so many things. Watch that video. You'll learn so many things. Good start. Good first assumption. I'm homo. Off to a great start. Let's put this here. Okay. Had to be the first one. Yeah, we'll read the ones from Twitter too, but I'm gonna read some from Instagram. I wish I could see how many responses there are. It doesn't give me like an actual number. Is there a way to see? I want to know. I click see all and it doesn't tell me. Anyway, romantic orientation? As of right now, I just pretty much say hetero-romantic. As far as evidence proves, that's probably true. Some people don't know what assumptions are and just used this to ask questions, but that's fine too. You take your cats on walks with a leash. I do only have one cat, and I do plan to get her a leash, but I haven't gotten it yet, so not quite, but I will be cat on leash lady soon with my one cat. Let's see. You seem like an elevator over stairs kind of person. Actually, if I can help it, I will opt for the stairs if it's not like 12 flights or something insane. Especially if it's just a couple floors. I like to take the stairs. It feels like my exercise for the day because I don't usually really even exercise all that often. So I like to take the stairs to make me feel like I move a little bit more every day. Depends what floor you're going to. Well, I would take the stairs in college when I was on that 4th floor, sophomore year. Freshman year, I was on the 11th floor, but this building, weirdly, when you walk in, the floor you walk in on is 5, which is strange. And also the way that my freshman dorm was insane. It had so many weird quirks to it. One, it didn't have air conditioning, which in America, in New Jersey, in the summer, I don't even know how that's even honestly legal because so many kids just passed out all the time. Also, it was so old. And half of the building on one side, you walk in on the ground floor, but it's also floor 5. Because on the other side, it's on a hill. So the windows go all the way down to floor 2, which is underground, half underground. And I was up on floor 11, which by complete coincidence was the only all-girl floor, and then the floor above us was an all-boy floor. The rest of the dorm was co-ed. I came out of an all-girl high school coming into college, and I was like, finally, boys! Put her in the all-girls floor. But also, to get to the 11th floor, you couldn't take the stairs directly. So weird. From the level that you walk in on, floor 5, there was only one staircase, and it only brought you up to floor 10. And then you had to get out of the stairwell and cross to the other side of the building that now started a new staircase on the other side that went up to the rest of the floors. I think it went up to 15, actually. 11 was the all-girls and 15 was the all-boys. And all of the rest of the floors were mixed. And I don't know why they even have these floors. But also, because they do have these floors, I would assume maybe people can make the request to be on them. Nope, they just put you at random. So, don't know what that was about. Anyway. I even still, though, took the stairs a lot of the times. Also, fire drills were a nightmare because you had to go down the stairs and then across the building and then down the rest of the stairs. That was weird. It was strange. I don't really understand who designed that building, but it's really old and I guess just not fit for air conditioning. But New Jersey, at the beginning of the school year starting and at the end of the school year starting, September being just like peak heat of summer, practically, and then leaving in May, also hot as balls. Also, it was called Bone. Literally, the name of the building was Bone Hall, so that was always fun. All right, what else? You hate face piercings? No. The only one that I would ever consider for me, though, is a nose piercing, which is a face piercing, right? Like, that's, I don't know if they mean maybe eyebrow specifically. I wouldn't get an eyebrow piercing. I wouldn't do lip piercings. I was into eyebrow slits for a while, though. Never did it on myself. I was too scared to mess it up, but I always thought they looked so cool. But nose piercing, I'm still on the fence about a septum, but I figure I'm just going to keep doing a fake one. I just have to get a real gold fake one. A nice quality fake one, but might as well. I'm going to be touching my hair. I already know. I might as well, if I don't feel like going for the permanent piercing and like cleaning it, do the fake one. Why not? Septum around the side of your nose. Septum. I don't want the side nose one. I just want the septum, I think. I just think they're neat. I just think they look neat. You don't like dogs. That is surprising. I know I'm a very big cat lady. Love my cat. Love cats a whole lot. But no, I love dogs too. I grew up with dogs throughout my childhood, not counting the very first dog we had when I was an actual infant, because I don't remember her and she ran away. Sadly, we never saw her again. Not counting that dog, we had my first dog, technically second, but first dog named China was a German Shepherd Border Collie mix, one of the smartest dogs I've ever gotten to know and love. And then she passed away of old age. And then we got my dog, Muttley, at the age of 3. She was the oldest dog we ever adopted. China was 1 when we got her. Miss Muttley was her full name. We had her for only about 5 years because she unfortunately got a lump that was cancer. And then we lost Muttley. And then we now have Shadow, which is our current dog, which is my dog, but stays at my parents' house because I can't bring her to California. I'm not in a position to be able to have a dog. But we have Shadow now, who is, Muttley was a Husky Airedale mix, which just made her a really weird, wiry, orange dog that looked kind of like a Husky, but kind of not, and also had a mustache, and also ice blue eyes. She was beautiful. And then Shadow is we think either black German Shepherd or Dutch Shepherd mixed with definitely Schipperke. So she ends up being a medium black German Shepherd looking dog. She's a beautiful dog too. She's adorable. I love dogs. I want to, in my future, if I ever have a house to my name, because I'd love to be able to afford one, but who knows? I have my cat Shadow. I have my cat Star-Lord, but I'd love to adopt a senior dog. I want the old ones from the shelter. I want to adopt a senior, keep them for however long they have left, and then get another one and another one and another one, or do it with cats as well. It depends how big this house is that I seemingly will be able to one day hopefully afford. But I really want to get one at a time a senior animal. I'm imagining Star-Lord will still be alive at that point because cats can live for a really long time, and she's only 4. Has Star-Lord ever met a dog? She lived with a dog. She lived with Megan's dog. I lived with Megan for a year, and Megan has a little dog, and they got along really well, actually. Chewie was more afraid of her. She's also met Link, H's dog, I think once, but she doesn't like him as much because he moves a lot more, unpredictably. You don't like living in the US. I do a lot. I wish it was cheaper. I wish that my money went further. I wish that the money I'm spending on rent where I live could get me more space, but it doesn't. I know I could live elsewhere in America and have my money get me bigger space, but I love living in LA. I really, really do. I think actually I still prefer America to England. It's probably a close call though. It is a very close call, I think. But I still love it. It's still home. I will always want to go back. I kind of always want to have a foot in that country if I ever do. If I ever were to move out here, I'd always want to kind of have some place to go to back there. If it's a place near my parents to just kind of have, or whatever it may be, I'd love to. I'm assuming I'm having so much money in this future where, one, I can afford a house in the first place, and I'd be able to have one out in America and then also live here and be able to live between both. Ideally, I would love that because I'd always love to have a place in America. I think California is the best place to live in the US, just expensive. I agree. It's unfortunate. It is just the way it is. People that have visited have said the same thing. They think it's the best place in America they've ever visited, the most beautiful, and they'd love to live there, but it's incredibly expensive. I don't have a whole lot of space in my 1-bedroom apartment, but I'm paying a hefty amount in rent. I'm getting a good deal on mine too, and it's still a lot. Let's see. You had a semi-emo phase. They're only right because they said semi. My mom would, as much as she let me wear boys' clothes, boys' shorts, boys' underwear, didn't care where my clothes came from, which section. There's no way she was ever gonna let me look emo when I had my emo phase. So I looked like just a very plain looking little long brown hair, plain. I looked like Bella from Twilight, the way they describe her, and literally just Kristen Stewart in the movie. Basically dressed and very basic looking. But boy did I love my emo music. And I still do. I definitely had a very big emo, like hardcore, alternative rock, metal, lots of that in my like middle school, high school period. I say middle school, but I didn't actually ever go to a middle school. I went to a grade school that was kindergarten to 8th grade. Can I see it? There isn't a picture that represents my emo face because I looked regular because my mom wouldn't let me. There's no way she's gonna let me wear makeup that I wanted to or have like a scene hairstyle or emo hair. Maybe she would have, honestly. I didn't even try to ask. She let me get away with a lot as a kid. I kind of want to ask her if that ever was a concern for her, how like far into being a boy I took it as a kid. She never seemed bothered by it. She was like, yeah, go buy clothes wherever you want from. I don't care. They're clothes. Boy section, girl section. Wear what you want. Underwear from the boy section. Sure, go ahead. They're comfortable. Whatever. Kind of an awesome mom. Low-key. I was also such a weird kid, and she just kind of let me be weird. Which also, though, that I ended up bullied, so who knows. Okay. Let's see. I hate whatever is playing right now. Can we... I don't know what that was, but I hated it so much. Your mom is based. Yeah. Clothes is clothes. Articles of clothing don't have a gender, so even mom was with that at the time, which is awesome. You hate scary things but enjoy them a lot? Kind of. I love scary movies. I don't hate them at all. I love them, like, a lot. I go out of my way to watch them. In fact, I went through a binge of so many horror movies in all the flights that I've been taking because they just happened to have all of the Conjuring movies and all, like, old school horror movies, and I really love them. But I don't love playing scary games. I wish I could just watch, and I do, watch somebody else play them, so it's more like watching a movie. I don't like being in the scary thing and being at the wheel in the scary thing. Watching from the comfort of my home where I know I'm not in that situation. I'm in the safety of my home where I didn't build this over the bones of dead people or summon a demon in my house, so I'm safe here. So kind of hate scary things because I wouldn't play scary games too much. Although I do kind of want to play The Quarry, the new one. And I will play any and all Five Nights at Freddy's games, except for Security Breach I forgot about completely until right now that I was going to play that, and I still will. But I do hate being at the wheel in scary games. Love watching scary things. Also, hate scary haunted houses. I just don't like there being people to scare me. I will fight them, so I just can't go in there. I just can't be allowed in there because I will throw hands if I get spooked by an actual person lurking around a corner. I thought you looked like a band kid. What does that mean? You know what's kind of sad? My school, because my high school was like super tiny, we only had a certain limited number of sports. Somehow, though, we had bowling. We did not even have a band, so wasn't even an option for me in high school. In grade school, we all learned the recorder, but I don't think that really counts. Definitely not a band kid. We didn't even have a band, and if we did, I would not have been in it, honestly. I don't think so. You prefer winter over summer? No way. Not a chance. I prefer the hot over the cold. Summer is the best season. Best. Were you a theater kid? Nope. I don't like musicals. I'm not a big play theater person. The very limited experience I had when it came to theater in high school was helping build the sets. That was fun. I liked doing that. But as far as as much as I was interested in acting when I was in high school, and I did go to acting school, I was more interested in film and not stage theater acting at all. I really didn't like it. I wasn't into it. Didn't even like theater plays to go see them or musicals, so no. I was not theater, band, drama, none of them. I was a crew kid for like one play one time. And honestly, I didn't even really enjoy it all that much. I just liked art. If anything, I just liked doing the painting. But I think I only really helped in one play, and that was it. Ooh, you're addicted to chocolate or anything sweet? No. I have, like, a ridiculous, inhuman amount of self-control when it comes to sweets. I don't even honestly like chocolate too much. If something's an all chocolate thing, I think it's too much. Chocolate chip things I like, but sweets I'm not super big on. Bag of chips, I have zero self-control. Actually have a problem and need to not buy them, or else I'll eat the whole bag all at once, because I'll rationalize it in my head as, well, you bought them, so if you eat them all in one go now, you won't have any more, so then you can't eat them anymore, so you have to eat them all at the same time. I have a big problem when it comes to chips and salty snacks. Zero self-control, can't be trusted. Don't put a bag of chips in front of me open. We were at VidCon, we were hanging out at our friend's Airbnb, and someone was like, here, let me put some snacks out. And I opened a bag of chips and put it next to me where I was sitting. Most people were in the pool. I didn't go in the pool because I had that whole situation of, forgot my bathing suit. I did actually go and buy one. It ended up being too big by accident because I was in the wrong section of Target. Oops. So I didn't go in. And then I ended up just sitting by this bag of chips eating them, and Wilbur's in the pool, and he's like, since they put that bag there, you haven't stopped just doing this. And it's been like 20 minutes, and I had to get up and move myself. Can't be trusted. Don't put them near me, please. A lot of assumptions that I don't like living in the US, which is the perfectly exact opposite. In fact, I've been thinking, I've had a lot of time to think about how it would be to live in the UK. Now, I've been here a lot of times, even before I ever visited here. I always was like, I kind of want to live there for a little while. Kind of wanted to just get out of my country, you know what I mean? But it is very, very different here. And I think that I won't ever like it as much as I like living in America, possibly. And for some like weirdly small specific reasons. One, you don't have Urban Outfitters furniture, and that makes me really sad. But you know what you do have is Zara furniture, and that blows my mind. I didn't know that was a thing. Zara Home? Who's that? But like the places to buy furniture seems really limited a little bit, kind of. And also having movers come around feels like an impossibility on these tiny ass roads, but I guess they do it though. People move all the time over here. Why is Urban Outfitters UK so much better than the US? Only when it comes to the clothes. Furniture, no, because they don't even have it out here. But Urban Outfitters furniture is one of my favorite places to go and look at furniture. It's such a weird, I mean, there's probably other places. I just need to find the UK stores to find different places for furniture. But also your houses are very old, so have their like just specifically weird problems with them, but also I love them to death. Yeah, Zara furniture I've never heard of. We don't really have, we don't have Zara Home in America. We only have clothes. And here, Urban Outfitters only has clothes. I'm not an IKEA fan, so that one I'm ruling out. Surely they have just other furniture stores I don't know about, but it's been like a weird thing to experience because while I'm out here, I've been looking for some small pieces of furniture for this room. This is IKEA. I don't honestly even really love it. The lamps are cool though. That guy's sick. I love him. But I'll just have to find the other options. But you know what else I hate? I hate that when people deliver things to your house, they won't leave it there. They can't just leave it there. And I don't like that I have to be home every time I'm gonna have a delivery. They're very, very first world problem and like not even mostly a non-issue, but are just really, really small things that have been really annoying. Not a single thing that I've had delivered has been able to be contactless or they can just leave. Also the food, Uber Eats, and well, they don't have Uber Eats. Oh, they do. They don't have. It's not as good though as Deliveroo. They won't leave the food at your doorstep either for some reason. Which is my favorite thing to come out of the pandemic is the fact that I can say leave at door. You have that option on Deliveroo, but they don't actually do it. They will make you come out and get it, and I don't know why. I don't understand. Some delivery companies let us give a safe spot of parcels. I told this to Scott, and he said some of them will let you select specifically that they can leave it, but I haven't encountered any delivery service that has let me do that yet. And so every morning when they usually come around 9 a.m., I have to get up and go get it from the door because they won't leave it there. And I hate it. I hate it so much. It's the worst. There are other small things I can't think of right now, but it's very, very little adjustments to living here I would have to get used to. And also it's a big change. It's an entirely different culture of people. It's a whole other country. And you don't think of that. It sounds obvious, but I didn't think it would be such a big difference because we're both English speaking and not so different, but honestly so different. Really different. Even just the way people speak to each other. I had to learn a couple of times when people said things to me, I received it as like mean, but they were not being mean at all. It just was like a cultural difference in wording that I didn't realize was going to be a problem. It's strange. There's some small things that I just keep having to remember. You're in a different country, different rules. Okay. You are a vegan. I don't know if they actually believe that, but no. I am now like 95% beefless though, but not vegan. I've tried vegetarian though, and then I went to Wendy's, and let me just say, Wendy's does not have very good vegetarian options, and that went out the window after 2 weeks of being vegetarian. But I'm working on being beefless right now. Maybe little steps is better for me. Every little bit that you can cut out from the meat industry here and there will always be helpful. Also, Wendy's chicken is just honestly one of the best fast food chickens. Spicy nuggets, oh my God. Some of the best. And you know what? They just opened a Wendy's out here, but it has like 5 items on the menu. They don't have any of the spicy chicken at all. it's kind of sad. But I think because it's the first one and the only one that they just opened, maybe they're just testing the waters, seeing what kind of options they want to have. And because of the different regulations here, some food that is at our fast food places just legally cannot be at the fast food places here because they have different rules, which are just much better for you health-wise out here. But really wish they had the spicy chicken nuggets. I can't imagine that one's not here because of a health reason or an ingredient that they don't allow. I just think they didn't want to put every item on the menu. Also, though, the beer, what are they called? At Wendy's, it's a pretzel bun beer cheeseburger or something with bacon. A lot of parts to that. It's really good. You're actually 6'4". Nope, I'm 13'4", actually. Oh yes, America is very unhealthy. Yeah, we have a lot of different rules when it comes to ingredients that are allowed in food that you can serve, and also ingredients that are allowed in medicines and over-the-counter pills. Also, we will let you buy medicines over the counter without a prescription, whereas here you can't even buy like a Tylenol equivalent without needing to talk to the pharmacist, which is funny to me. And then Scott was telling me the story when he was in America. He bought a tub of Tylenol that was like this big, which I didn't even know they had. In some ways, I think America's doing it just fine, letting you buy, at the very least, an Advil over the counter without like a prescription or anything like that. But I also trust what I'm putting in my body more out here because they're a lot more strict on what they're gonna let fly from random fast food companies and random pill making companies. So, you know, I will never forget though when New York banned 30-ounce drinks, if you even know what an ounce is, which in England they don't. It's essentially the Trenti, is that what they call it at Starbucks? The biggest size drink that they have. In New York, they banned 30-ounce drinks, so that meant the Trenta, whatever it's called at Starbucks, had to go. It meant that the Big Gulp at 7-Eleven had to go, and so many people lost their minds over this law that is only in New York, and is still in New York, I believe. And everyone was like, I'm just gonna go to 7-Eleven and buy 2 larges. You can't stop me from drinking as much as soda as I want, which is true. But I think also at the same time, when you make something not allowed, a less amount of people are likely to go out of their way to do the thing. But if they're gonna drink the soda, they're gonna drink the soda. You can't stop them. But banning it does de-incentivize. Is that a word? Am I making things up? People from going out of their way to do the thing. That works in other aspects too, but America doesn't want to go there, so we're not going to talk about it. You seem like the type to practice comebacks in the shower or while you're on the bed. Only after the interaction has happened. Never before, never to prepare for hypothetical situations. Only after they've already happened and I'm like, oh man, I wish I said that. You like rose gold jewelry? Kinda. I mostly exclusively wear gold, purely gold, except for this guy. He's the only exception, but he just kind of is cool in silver. I used to be a bigger fan of rose gold. I have a watch that's rose gold that I don't even honestly wear anymore. It is pretty, but I prefer straight gold. I think that it complements, whether you choose silver, rose gold, or gold, I think all depends on what like works with your skin tone. And I think that I've just kind of decided, and I think it's just true, that gold complements my skin tone more. I lean like olive, warm, and I think gold just looks better on me. And I really like gold jewelry. Always my necklace has been gold. And my earrings are always gold. I used to be silver jewelry though. I used to be a lot paler in general though. Is it a thing that your skin tone, like your whatever you call it, resting skin tone when you've not been exposed to the sun at all, can change as you get older? Because I feel like I used to be a lot more tan as a child just from the summers I would spend outside. But when I wasn't in summer era and like super, super tanned, Because I am Sicilian Italian, by the way. This comes from my father's side, and I do tan very easily and quickly, and don't really burn. But in my winter times, I was a very, very pale, like pinkly translucent pale. But these days, my resting skin tone, and maybe it is because I live in California, so I get an amount of sun all the time, but I'm definitely way more olive, like warm tone all of the time now as an adult, more than I used to be, even like as a teenager. As a teenager, I was like so pale, and now even in my palest, I still have like a kind of tanned look to me just because I happen to be a little bit olive tone from being Sicilian. But that comes from my dad. Also, though, remember, if you're somebody that doesn't burn in the sun, that does not mean you do not need suntan lotion. Every single person of every skin tone needs sunscreen to protect them from the damage that the sun causes, regardless of if you can see the damage with a red burn or not. It will always be doing it. Damn, y'all be breaking the rules. What is happening? Also, just PSA, I'm not taking any questions from the chat. I am reading from here, and I will only read the ones that I am comfortable with. Some of them will be crossing boundaries, and I'm just simply not reading those ones, so let's all just chill. Relax, calm down. I'm not answering anything invasive because that's weird. I don't know you. I don't know who you are. I'm sorry. But I'm keeping it mostly to the Instagram story ones, and then I'm going to go to the Twitter ones. I'm not taking any from the chat right now, maybe at the end, but also if it's one that's against like my rules or my boundaries or just makes me uncomfortable, it's too personal and too invasive, I just simply won't answer those. Bam, 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 bam. This one's not an assumption, but just I thought you were 18. You don't like airplanes. God, if that was true, I would be living the worst life ever. I'm constantly flying all over the place, always. No, I don't mind flying at all. I actually really love it now. I'm the most calm person you'll ever find in an airport. I'm the best person to travel with because I'm so cool and calm and collected under the pressure of flying always, and I can sleep on planes, so I am very, very good and glad for it, that I can have such a good time on planes. Let's see. You wear baggy clothes to bed or a onesie? That's too much fabric. Also, I don't want to be constricted by a onesie in bed at all. I'm pretty often a t-shirt. I always sleep in a bra, though. I know people think that that's weird, but it makes me feel comfortable, so. Danielle, thank you for subscribing. Let me read these really quick. Sweet Tay, thank you for the Prime. King Dragon Games, thank you for the Prime. Frago, thank you for subscribing. Utter Chaos, thank you for 29 months. That is a long time. Subbase, thank you for gifting 2 subs. Dual Scorpion, thank you for the 100 bits. Captain Wiley, thank you for the Prime. Chalk Catsicle, thank you for the Prime. Solo Sith, thank you for 20 months. Grapril, thank you for subscribing. Dayanira, thank you for the Prime. Tilda Rachel, thank you for 19 months. Subiz, thank you for 3. Mangu Plays, thank you for the Prime. Eliza and Amber, thank you guys for subscribing. It's Cat Little Boy, thank you for subbing. Katie, thank you for gifting a sub. And I'm caught up. Iridium, thank you for gifting 10 subs, though. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, let me clarify. No underwire. I'm a bralette girl. And I'm glad I can be, because I know for some people it just is not enough support. It just isn't enough. But I am a bralette lady, so I will sleep in those. Or sports bras. I do like to sleep in a sports bra, too. I just like to be all contained. Not that there's a whole lot to be flying around anywhere. Raging at games off camera. No, actually. I don't even know. Have I ever raged at a game on camera? I've definitely gotten frustrated. I've definitely gotten frustrated on stream or on camera playing a game. Never, I would never say raged, though. I assume that you like to cook, bake, but you don't do it often. Yep, I do want to do it more. I don't do it here because I just don't have, like, a way of cooking and baking all that much here. I'd have to buy my own set of pans and things, and I don't want to do that, so I don't do it out here. Back home, I cook pretty often. I make breakfast all of the time. I cook dinner half of the time if I'm not just microwaving something or ordering. I like baking, but I also don't do it all that often, but I love it. I do like baking a lot. I always, in my cabinet back home, have any ingredient at any given moment in time to bake pretty much anything standard. I always have the ingredients to make muffins. I always have chocolate chips or cinnamon to do cinnamon muffins, or I always have ingredients for cookies, whether it be like snickerdoodles, sugar cookies, chocolate chip cookies. Oh my God, my phone is not plugged in, whoops. And dying! I also have all the ingredients to like make a cake, but I'm not really someone who cares to make a cake randomly. But I have always those basic ingredients. Except for actually the last time I said that I had all those ingredients, and it turned out I didn't have cinnamon. And I wanted to make snickerdoodles. And that was the saddest realization, was that I forgot I just didn't have cinnamon, and I don't know how. They're so good, though. They're really good and really easy to make. You were an honor roll student. In high school, yes, I was actually. Not the highest of honor rolls, but the second highest. In college, I really let everything slip. I just didn't know what to pick as a main focus to study, and I just kept getting really bad grades because I cared less and less and less about the things that I was learning about and chose to learn about, and then I dropped out. But high school I was, actually. I also got 4 different certificates from 4 different classes, being the highest grade in all of them. Which I guess was a thing that we did, was a certificate for whoever had the highest grade in their selected courses senior year. So I did fashion, which I learned how to do sewing and make clothes and things like that. I did culinary and learned how to cook, although I already kind of liked cooking. Math was the other one, and I don't remember the 4th. Weirdly, I want to say Spanish, which is so funny because I talk about how horrible I am at languages, but at the time, anyone in the chat know about how to be really good in school because you are really good at memorizing, but then it goes away immediately as soon as you don't need it anymore? Because that was me. Memorizing, I could know anything for a test. I would just really quickly read all of it ahead of time, memorize it for the test, and then gone. Never to be seen again. I think that's what made me really good in my acting class, because I'm really good at memorizing a lot of lines, monologues, but now gone. Got rid of it as soon as I didn't need it anymore. So at the time, I didn't actually learn a lot of the things in like Spanish class or science or anything, but I got really good at memorizing them temporarily. Which just goes to show you, some people that don't do well in school and on tests doesn't mean that they're not smart or don't know the things that you're teaching them. And some of the kids that are doing really well aren't learning a damn thing. They're just memorizing it, which is not the same thing. Rachel, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yep, I copy and pasted and then delete. Never remembered it again. Same for math, although at least with math, if you can memorize and remember the like solutions to problems, it was very easy to retain that and then apply it to other problems. Like you put different numbers in. I was really, really good in math for that reason, I think. Not anymore though. Math is something that you have to keep doing to be good at, and is not like riding a bike. Like you just start being good at math again. You have to keep practicing it to retain the ability to keep being good at math. Xylophone Home, thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. Because I'm just not good at math. I am still good with numbers. I think that's just something I am good with. I very randomly will just remember numbers that I was told once. I'm still good with them, but not so good at the math part of it. Don't remember a single formula or anything at all. Let's see. You have handwriting that is super clean and pretty. No, I think I have the worst handwriting. I think it's ugly. I know that it's not ugly. It's not hard to read. It's not like chicken scratch or anything like that. But it isn't pretty and cute like some girls I know just have like such really nice, cute handwriting. And I do not know how. I don't have a piece of paper or a pen to be able to write. What is this though? Oh, this is not mine. Yeah, I don't have. I think that it's messy and quick and sloppy, but it isn't ugly, but it's definitely not what this person's talking about. It is not clean and pretty by any means at all. You have plants in your house. Only fake ones. I have not a single real live plant in my house. One, because my cat will eat all of them. Doesn't matter if they're not poisonous. I don't want her eating them. She's just killing the plants. And also because I travel a lot, I don't want to have to keep up with keeping them alive. And I'm not good at doing that anyway. So I'm a fake plant haver. A lot of people asked if I'm a plant mom, or assumed I'm a plant mom. I give plant mom vibes. I love plants. I love having many of them around my house. Mine are just all fake. Give you the same mood boost that the real ones do. Exactly, without having to keep them alive, which sometimes is hard enough doing that with ourselves. So not everybody's built for live plants, and that's okay. I do love the vibe that a fake plant will give a space, though. It still brings life to it. That guy's fake. That guy's fake. You don't really like your curly hair much. When I started having curly hair, because I was not born with curly hair. It came when I was 16, weirdly. And very specifically, I remember. It was 16 years old. Probably also that was the time I hit puberty, so that might have just made things weird. And changed the fact that my hair used to be pin straight, started to become wavy, and then eventually became full-blown curly. And I didn't like it when it started happening. I would straighten my hair constantly. But there was a period a few years ago, or like a year or two ago, where I was like, I want to really fully I don't know the word I'm looking for. I want to just really have my curly hair be thriving. And also I bleached my hair a lot of times before too, throughout like high school up through college and into my 20s. So my curls weren't at their healthiest, so I just didn't wear my hair curly. But then I went through my phase of wanting to bring back the health of my curls and wear my hair curly and training my curls to see how like really curly they can be. And some of them were really, really curly. And then I bleached my hair again. And remember when I was telling everyone, just imagine me with my like peak healthy curly hair at the time, but blonde? That was wishful thinking that I would be able to have that. And unfortunately, the bleach session that I did on the top half pushed my hair just a tad farther than ideal, which isn't anybody's fault. It is because we dyed it black, dark brown. When I did my split dye, we kind of covered my already brown hair with a layer of semi-permanent dark brown dye to cover all my grays and things and make it all even and nice. And then we bleached that, which was harder to bring to the same level of the blonde that was down here, which was on virgin hair. So underneath still curls pretty nicely, but the top doesn't. Once this is fully grown out, because I'm on a hair growing journey right now, I will not be cutting it for like 2 years. I'm letting all the bleach grow fully out as well. Then I might try bleach on my healthy hair with just one session and have my hair be curly. But also I'm going to have a period of just having my hair be curly and brown again. I'm planning like years in advance. But I love my curls. And I really wish I had them right now because I think they'd be so pretty blonde. It can be hard and tricky to balance an amount of bleach that doesn't ruin your curl pattern, but I know it is possible, and I've had it before, but this time wasn't the time, and now I'm just pretty much blow drying my hair every day because my curlies are not there. And also I got a keratin treatment to kind of relax my hair so that it's not frizzy from all the bleaching, and it makes it like nice and smooth when it dries. Not straight, but smoother, and less curly. It has a bit of a kind of like wave pattern to it still, but it's a bit, I just don't like it, so I'm straightening my hair these days now until it's all grown out. I do like the way my hair is right now, though. I feel like I'm back to Shelby 4 years ago, almost exactly. You're short. Yep, that one's true. I'm 5'3". No, I'm 13'4". But I'm 5'3". 5'3", maybe 5'3 3/4, maybe 5'4". It's it keeps going up and down. I'm not really sure. I keep changing height. The front things are kind of curly, or do you mean like just the bottom? That was from me blow drying and straightening with a little like bend at the end of it. Luckily the keratin treatment I did when I blow dry my hair, it's almost perfectly straight just from doing that, so I don't have to use a lot of heat from an iron after. That makes me very happy while I'm on my growing out and can't really wear my hair curly right now. Do you straighten your hair every day? Not every day, because I don't wash my hair every day. I'll straighten it the day I wash it, but not the day after because it's still straight. So, but every time I wash my hair and then blow dry it, yes. Some days I don't if I'm not gonna be live or on camera. Or actually day one of VidCon, before I even showed up to the convention, I didn't have my hair straightened. So sometimes I'll give it a break. But because I'm able to blow dry it almost fully straight, I don't mind that I have to flat iron every day because it's very, very minimal little heat, which doesn't have to mean damaging your hair so much if you do it on a light heat setting. One pass, not for a long time. Don't hold it still too long. It can be fine. Paddle, thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. I have something in my eye. Oh wait, I have eyelashes on, I just remembered. I forgot. You're not at all a fan of horror. We've already debunked that one. I am. You do your makeup in less than 20 minutes. If I'm sat down not watching YouTube videos, which I usually am when I do it, I can do my current makeup routine, like my regular everyday one, in 20 minutes, but not less. That is the least amount of time it will take me if I'm focusing on just doing it to get it done efficiently, but not rushing either. If I rushed it, maybe I could do it in 15, but I prefer not. But for the most part, it takes me about 30 minutes. I usually am watching YouTube videos while I'm sat on the floor, so I get distracted. And then my hair, actually, blow drying, I let it air dry for while I'm doing my makeup, and then blow drying takes maybe 15 minutes, and then straightening takes 10. So that's my full getting ready. Picking out an outfit can either take 5 minutes, if I want it to be as easy as possible, or it can take an hour. If I'm wanting to wear something new and different and make a challenge out of it, and pull together an outfit of the pieces of clothes I've already owned, but I've never worn in a specific outfit, so... You get sick often? No. Not really. I faked sick often as a kid, but I'm not really someone that got sick all too much. Except for after the pandemic. I think everyone being inside, away from all the germs that you're usually exposing yourself to, made me a little bit more prone to getting sick. I got so badly sick when I came to the UK the very first time. Like, the worst sick that I've ever been was probably that time. It was so bad. Scott took such good care of me, but for like 3 days, I felt like death. It was bad. Iridium, thank you for gifting another 5 subs. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. You do not like mayo on your sandwich. I love mayo so much. In college, I hated it. Actually, as a kid, I hated it. Teen hated it. And then college happened and I actually tried it for the very first time because I had never had it before. And I was like, damn, mayo's good. Mayo's amazing. I love mayo. Give me garlic mayo. Give me sriracha mayo. Give me a nice aioli for my fries. I absolutely love mayo. Mix me some mayo and ketchup for my fries. I love it. I love mayo. I love mayo. I put way too much when I have it on a sandwich, which is so unhealthy, but I love it so much. You're one of the people who liked dogs first, but then got cats and saw how superior they are. I already explained that I do love both, but it is kind of true that if I was forced to pick one or the other, I would pick cat at this point to have for myself. Fits my lifestyle just simply a lot better. I would love to have both if I was able to, but cats kind of as an animal though. I love them both equally, but just cats are kind of just amazing and incredible and the best thing ever. And just a really good animal. And if you disagree, you're wrong. I know that there are people that have had issues with cats. They've had unfriendly cats. And unfortunately, I don't even blame the cat for that. Probably just someone did a wrong job taking care of that cat. And if you're someone that prefers dogs because you want someone that will love you unconditionally without any work, okay. But I do think there is something about the relationship that you build with a cat because it does take work, and cats do have boundaries that you do have to respect and work out, like a way of communicating with your cat. Like, you work on a relationship and a bond with them the same way that you do with a friend. And I think that it makes your relationship with your pet almost so much more rewarding. Because I've had dogs and I've had cats, and dogs are great. But when a cat, you've built this relationship with them and they love you, feels really good because you know you worked hard for it and they like kind of picked you and chose you and are making a conscious decision to like you rather than a dog that just likes everyone. If you don't want to work for your love, that's fine, but one day you're gonna have to, and a cat is a good lesson on how. But no shame to anyone that wants that easy love and unconditional from their dog. Dogs are great. Dogs are so pure and wholesome and perfect and just beams of absolute sunshine at all times. But man, if I don't love the relationship that you get with a cat when you I put 4 years into my cat. Every year you keep working on these relationships with your cat sometimes because some of them are a little difficult. Just like people, some of them are a little difficult to get through, and it can be an ongoing process for years to really get a solid, really nice, loving relationship. And I'm 4 years deep with my relationship with my cat. I love her so much. I love her. I would love my dog the same, but it's a nice thing. It's a nice feeling. It's a nice thing. Cats are just so great. All of my TikToks that are on my For You page are all cats, just being cats, and they're amazing. I love them. But I do also love dogs. I just am an animal lover. I think actually also after being in England, I've decided my favorite animal is a fox now, by the way. Fox and deer are my two absolute favorite animals that aren't like a house pet animal. I would love a fox as a pet though, because that'd be sick. Fennec foxes also, so good. You secretly don't like Minecraft. Nope. Not at any single point in my career, literally ever, have I not liked the game. And I know that a lot of creators that were Minecrafters have left it in their past. Some of them left it and then came back to it. Some of them had a period of just not enjoying the game anymore. And that is so all totally fine. I just never had that experience. I've never disliked the game. I've never had a bad time. I never wished I was in a different gaming field on YouTube or in streaming. I've never stopped loving the game. it just always was a good game. The way that I played it changed constantly. My like style of playing Minecraft, the kind of content I made with Minecraft. I was always hardcore, strong, supporting Minecraft the whole time, even during the period when a lot of people say Minecraft died for a while. I was like the biggest Minecraft advocate to be like, actually, Minecraft's active players yearly has never gone down. It's only gone up each time, so it never had a dip. It just was up. It was a straight line going that way. So there was never a period where it died. It didn't have any less players. It actually had more. It was just kids and not your friends. Which is true. I don't know now, because that was a fact 3-4 years ago, when I went to Sweden to the Minecraft headquarters. In the last 3 years, I don't know if it still remains true that they've never gone down in active players, or if it's still gone only up and up and up each year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it has. But there's a fun fact for you, because there was a period where just everyone that I was around and everyone maybe that you were around stopped playing, but Minecraft itself never dipped in players, ever, as of 3 years ago. You only ever get iced drinks, never or rarely hot. True, except now that I'm in England, unfortunately, a lot of your coffee shops that are not Starbucks or Costa don't have iced coffee. It's not as common of a thing. It does not exist in every coffee shop you'll go to. In fact, outside of Costa and Starbucks, almost all of the ones that I've gone to didn't have iced as an option. So I'm having hot coffee a lot more often out here, but it's hot out. So why don't you just have ice? I don't understand. It's the summer. Put ice in your coffee. Please. I do prefer iced though. I'm also drinking black coffee more because I'm kind of just trying to cut off sugar in general where I don't really need to be having it. And I do like having my coffee drinks every day, every other day. Not every day. But I don't love like frappuccinos that are loaded with sugar. I don't like whipped cream. I don't like all these syrups as much. So I usually just get a cold brew, or I'm getting a flat black has been my order from Costa lately, and I put like 4 packets of sugar in it. So I say black, but I'm actually putting 4 packets of sugar in it. But they're little packets. I don't think it's that bad. Cooper, thank you for the Prime. I've drank it without the sugar packets because they've forgotten to give it to me, but I just prefer a little bit of sugar in it. Just a little bit. Costa do the best cheese toasties? Ooh, Sophie, I disagree. And I'm really sorry. I really don't like most of the sandwiches that you guys have out here at Starbucks or at Costa. Can we talk about it for a second, actually? This is one of the instances of where I feel like your food's a little bit too plain for me. And you don't put sauce, and you don't have, unless I go in person, because Starbucks has ketchup and brown sauce. What the hell is that? Apparently it's vinegary or something. When you order online, they don't have the option to have any sauces, so they don't give you ketchup. They don't give you the option for brown sauce. And I always order Costa in the morning, and I get the sausage bap. I don't know what a bap is, but I love to say it. It's basically just a little sandwich, but it's just a plain roll with sausage. And I'm like, this needs a sauce. It needs a sauce, and you don't have the option for a sauce. And I have such an issue with this country and their lack of sauce. I know I talk about it too much. I can't get over it. It's a problem. I also really just have a bone to pick with Burger King. Specifically only Burger King, because Shake Shack doesn't have this problem, I should say. Where certain foods that you order from Burger King don't come with sauces as an option at all. Burgers do not come with ketchup on them at all. Fries don't come with a sauce as an option. Nuggets let you pick one, and they will give you one. If you want that sauce that you pick to be ketchup, you have to pay extra for a ketchup packet. If it's any of their other sauces that are like mayo, sweet chili, those ones are free and included, just one. But the ketchup packet's extra. And then when you go to the section that says sauces, if you want to get more, They don't have them there. They actually just have a mayo packet there that you can pay extra for. Why do you hate sauce? I don't get it. This was a rant. Anyway, I'm usually getting the sausage bap, but it's just plain. I also tried a tuna sandwich for the first time recently. Kinda goes hard, kinda slaps. I got the tuna melt from Costa. Kinda one of the best things I've eaten so far. Might be my new regular. It's got good protein, good amount of calories if you care about that. I don't, I just noticed. The worst though, the vegan bacon bap from Costa is the actual worst, but also just the regular bacon bap also kind of sucks. It needs sauce. It needs ketchup at least. I don't know about your brown sauce. I haven't had it. I'm not so sure about it. Kind of suspicious. Kind of sus. Don't know. Don't understand what it is. It sounds like it should be gravy, but it's like vinegary or something, and I just don't understand what that means. But you lie about your height to seem taller. If anything, I'm lying when I say I'm 5'3", because I'm closer to 5'4" than I am 5'3". I'm pretty sure that's true. I don't want to be taller. If anything, I'd love to be even smaller. I like being short. It's really fun. I'm happy with my height though. I'm a big fan. I would never lie to say that I was taller though. I might lie to say I'm shorter. I might start saying 5'3" because it sounds funner. Funner? I'm 5'3 3/4". I'm pretty sure that when I said that originally, like many years ago, it was true and it's not changed since then. So whenever I got measured as 5'4", I'm pretty sure they just kind of rounded up or did it wrong. And then the time that I was measured as 5'3", I'm pretty sure they rounded down. I'm pretty sure the most accurate measurement I've gotten is probably 5'3 3/4". I think that remains true. Although there was a period where I wished I was 5'6" specifically, and I did wish I was tall because I wanted to be a rockette. And the minimum height for a rockette is 5'6". And what they do is all of the girls wear different height heels so that on stage they're the same height. But the minimum's 5'6", because the heel would just be too ridiculously tall otherwise. And I was like, damn, I wish I was a little bit taller. Wish I had a couple extra inches. But now I'm like, I'm happy. But if I had an option, I'd give you an inch to take away. Maybe. Just one. I don't want to be under 5 foot. 5'2" sounds fun. I don't know. It's a weird thing to nitpick over a couple of inches. That was just a funny thing. You're an only child. If this is their assumption, because they actually just don't know. No, I have 2 sisters and a brother. I have a half-sister, a sister, and a brother. But I don't really care for the distinction between half-sister, except for when I mentioned she's 18 years older than me. My next sister is 4 years older than me. And my brother is 2 years older than me. And actually, my family almost adopted another child after me. But all of us were okay with it, apparently. But my brother was like, no other boys in this house. And so my parents didn't do it. Also, me and my brother, I think I've told this story before, we're big on our small protests and making everything more difficult for the rest of the family for no good reason. And we protested against airplanes, which meant we never went to Disneyland as children. We were dumb. Should not be given that much power to children who don't know any better. Could have gone to Disney. Probably would have freaked out and cried on the plane, though, and I don't think anyone wanted that. I don't think anyone wanted to deal with that. But, let's see. Morning shower kind of person. Yes. One thing that has changed since I was in high school, because as a kid, especially because of how early I had to wake up for high school, it was about like 5:45 a.m. I'd have to wake up to be able to be ready in time to catch my bus. That was one of the farthest bus stops from the school, sadly. Waking up any earlier to take a shower just simply wasn't an option in my mind. So I would do a night shower. But then when my hair became curly, going to bed with wet hair became an impossibility for me. Because if you're somebody with any kind of a bend in your hair, I feel like, at least as a kid, I didn't know how to handle that. Going to bed with hair wet meant waking up with the craziest situation. Whereas when I had pin straight hair, I'd go to sleep and wake up with straight hair, dry. So, and I haven't tried taking a night shower since high school because I don't like going to bed in wet hair. Almost every time I feel like I would end up having to rewash my hair in the morning to then be able to have it be nice and styled. Or even just straight without being weirdly bendy in weird spots. So absolutely not going to bed with wet hair. Although I don't wash my hair every time I shower, but I do just not care for nighttime showers. Except for here in England, I'm considering it, and it's something that someone told me is something you'll do because you don't have air conditioning, is just take a couple of showers throughout the day just to rinse your body and cool off. I'm feeling that. I'm getting why you might do that now. That sounds like a nice idea, actually. 10 p.m. showers where you're not getting your hair wet and just kind of rinsing off nice and cool to get into bed. Kind of a vibe. I've also taken nighttime baths, which is the same idea. So, I guess so. I guess that makes sense. But also, I will shower every morning, though. Well, actually, not even every morning. I am a morning shower person where maybe a bonus shower at night I might start doing. But you also don't have to shower every single day either. Unless you out here sweating, which I am in England and am showering every day. This one's not an assumption, and it's the second person who... Oh no, it's the same person, actually. They asked if I know Serbian, assuming based off of a story from yesterday. I don't know what story. I can't put those... I don't know what you heard. I don't know. I don't know Serbian, and I don't know what I said yesterday that made you think that I did. What did I say? What did I do? I don't remember. I don't know any other language but English, unfortunately. You're afraid of larger bugs. I'm afraid of all bugs. Irrationally so. Very much would chalk it up to, probably a phobia. Was that the guy who rated you? No, the person who rated me is from Italy, but I have no idea what story I told. Asleep Hobo, thank you for subscribing. All bugs are... There's no good bug. Every bug is scary to me. You can try to start putting suggestions in the chat of like, but what about this bug? This is an okay bug, right? I'm going to tell you right now, no matter what you put in this chat, I am afraid of it. I am afraid of literally every bug. I know that some of them are nice. I know that they're more afraid of me than I am of them. And I know that they are friendly and won't do anything to hurt me. But it doesn't matter when you're irrationally afraid of something. It doesn't matter when you have a phobia. I'm afraid and I think they're gonna kill me. And I can't make my brain make any sense of that. They're all terrifying. Butterflies especially. I am afraid. They're scary. Literally, yes, to every bug you're putting in this chat. There is 0 exceptions. Actually, well, does this count as a bug? Snails? Simply for the fact that they are large, I can see them at any given moment, and they're slow. They don't fly. They're not going to be on me secretly anywhere. But are they a bug, technically? They're not. So they don't really count, do they? That's why I was like, they give bug vibes, but they're not technically a bug. But like, they're okay. They're on thin ice though, even snails. Yeah, no, every bug is scary for me. There is 0 exception. When I say it, I mean it. But I know that they can't hurt me. I know. Tell that to my heart when it stops as soon as I see a little bug in a corner somewhere. There's a big ass fly in this house earlier today, and every time I heard the buzz just a little too close to me, I wanted to cry. Tears started to well up in my eyes. I can't explain the fear that it makes me feel, and I know that it's irrational, but it is out of my control. My brain is deciding this is a life or death situation with this bug near you right now. And that's what makes me think, without, not wanting to self-diagnose, I'm pretty sure I have a phobia. But actually, the assumption I'm afraid of larger bugs is almost not true, because if there's a bug that I'm more okay with than others, it's usually the ones that I can see which means they're bigger. That's very rarely the truth, though. My problem is I have a constant fear, almost always in the background of my mind, that there is a bug somewhere on me and I don't know. They're small and they're sneaky, especially if they can fly, and I don't know that they're there. That's like my constant back of my mind fear. And my biggest problem with bugs is that they could be on me somewhere. Especially, I went in a butterfly house once and I cried because I was like, they're touching me and landing on me and one might be on me and I don't know and I don't like that. I don't like it. I'm glad you can relate. Archer, thank you for the prime. Breaking Ink, thank you for the 100 bits. Was Mothboy scary? Who's Mothboy? Also, though, moths are scary. They're a little bit better than butterflies, only minorly because they're fuzzy. Kind of like a flying hamster, but oh my god, just still so terrifying. Just not my thing. I got the fly out of the house though. I stood by the door with it open until I saw him go out and I slammed it. It tried to come back too. And I was like, you dumbass. You want to be out there too, but he tried to come back into the house. Flies is stupid. And that's how I know they're more, although I would argue, I'm pretty sure I am more afraid. I get what you mean when you say they're more afraid of you than you are of them. I think that you're wrong though when it comes to me. I think I am more afraid. I just actually do. I do need one of those tennis racket zappers though. That. I definitely need one of those. You didn't think the Meat Mountain was that bad. Honestly, it wasn't. Other than what the other boys pointed out, the mix of temperatures, the hot chicken fingers, and the cold meats was a little bit weird. I think I would have preferred if the whole sandwich was like toasted, probably. That would be better. But most of the flavor I got when I ate it was literally pastrami. It mostly just tasted like a thick pastrami sandwich, which I like pastrami. I don't know why the pastrami was so overpowering. I think I also didn't get a chunk of chicken in my bite, but it was cheese and meat. How wrong can that really end up being? Multiple cheeses, ham, pastrami, and a chicken finger, and like a couple other meats that I don't really know what they are. Maybe turkey, maybe salami. I don't know what they got at Arby's. It's the first time I've ever been there. But it wasn't that bad. I wouldn't get it again though. Just seems a little unnecessary. You don't feel like making YouTube videos anymore? Honestly? No, I do. I want to make too many. I have too many ideas of different channels that would be like fun to do, but simply don't have the time to be able to make content for so many different channels. And I'm already trying to get different editors for different things so that I can make more different videos. I'm going to start uploading shorts and clips to my VOD channel. I want to start uploading my second channel every now and then still. It is hard for one person to maintain multiple channels, multiple videos at all times, filming, editing, uploading, thumbnailing, planning, scheduling. It's a lot easier when there are when people have a team, but I don't have a team. I would love to upload more YouTube videos though. That you hate change. I don't know why, I just feel like you would. I do hate change. It is really hard for me to make a change if I don't feel like there's a good enough reason for it. Case in point, I still edit with Sony Vegas. I refuse to learn how to use Premiere, but I don't see any good reason for it because I can do all the same things. And honestly, I'd rather pay my one-time fee to Sony Vegas than monthly to Adobe. Hot take, I don't really want to pay monthly for Adobe. Also, I make my thumbnails in Sony Vegas, which is not a photo editing program even at all. But I don't want to use Photoshop because I don't want to pay for it. I'm stubborn. And unless it's something that I know will make it better and more improved to change it, I won't do it. Switching to Premiere won't improve, I don't believe, my videos because I've learned how to do everything you can do in Vegas. But I just know that Premiere is like an industry standard when it comes to programs. If I ever wanted to go away from being in front of the camera and edit for people, I wouldn't be able to get a job doing it until I learned Premiere, because no one will accept anyone who edits on Vegas. But for me, it works. I can do anything that anyone else can do. Honestly, the latest Vegas is the closest I've even seen to Premiere, where it's hardly unrecognizable as a different program. They almost even look identical. And it works. I do think my thumbnails will improve, or at least make my life a little bit easier if I used Photoshop, or at the very least GIMP, which is a Photoshop dupe that is free. Oops, I just don't know how to use GIMP as well. I actually took a class on how to use Photoshop, but I don't want to pay for it, and I won't. Because why should I? I already paid for Vegas, and I can do everything that you can do in Photoshop. When it comes to thumbnails, though, it does take an unnecessarily longer amount of time to do some things than it would take in Photoshop. So I do know that my thumbnails would become better, but I'm out here using Vegas because I just simply know the program so damn well I can do anything on it. But I do hate change. That's part of the very minor non-issue of furniture when it comes to America and here, is that I wouldn't be able to have my apartment that I have now here. I know that that would be true. I'd have to find different options that probably would look nearly the same. I couldn't bring all my furniture here, which makes me sad because I love what I have exactly right now. And I wouldn't be able to pick it up and bring it here. It wouldn't be worth it to pay to have all of it moved. And I don't like change because I'm stubborn. But when I have to do it, I will do it without, like, resistance if I know that I need to, if it's necessary, if I have to. I don't have another option. The very important thing to recognize is is the thing in your control? No, then there is no sense, no use, no logical reason to fight against it. If the situation you are in is simply out of your control and there is nothing you can do. You know what I mean? That's how I've gotten to be so good in the airport too, is because if something's gonna happen, like my flight is delayed or canceled, and they're working on getting me an alternative, stressing out isn't gonna help the situation make it any better. What is happening is out of my control, but you do what is in your control. I've gotten really good at evaluating situations that way. You used to be scared of cats. Actually, yeah, because I did have one mean cat as a kid. Otherwise, I didn't have any experiences with cats. Actually, that's not true. My dad's a fireman, and there was one cat that they had in the firehouse for a while, and then it had kittens. They were great. But I didn't have a lot of experience with cats, except for one mean one, and one standoffish one that had kittens that also kind of hurt me because they were tiny little claws, and then only grew up with dogs. So I was a little bit nervous about the idea of cats. Carrots for Crunch, thank you for subscribing. Thank you so much. What Disney show were you on? There are two that run on Disney XD that you can find me at. One called Parker Plays, where I was on 2 seasons of the show playing a character who was me, but a character version of me. And the other is called Player Select, which is really just stream highlights played on TV. I think more people would find me recognizable from that now that I'm blonde, because I think that I'm 2 different people when I'm brunette Shelby and blonde Shelby, and I don't think that I'm as recognizable when I'm brunette for any of the things that I did when I was blonde. I don't think people recognized me as a Minecon host when I became brunette. I think I became a different person to them. I don't think anyone who had ever seen me on that show as kids or adults watching kids recognized me because I was brunette. I feel like I completely change, even though my face is exactly the same. Maybe I'm just so plain looking that when I change my hair, I do become a different person, because my face, it's just basic. I have 2 identities. I have my Hannah Montana moment. You constantly give off little sister vibes when with the people around your age. Do you think that's true? I could see that being true, which is funny because when I'm around people around my age. I am always still the oldest one. I hate that. In college, I was the youngest of everyone in my grade, and of all my friends, because my birthday being the end of August meant that when I started school, I was like almost the youngest you could be to even be in that grade. But now I'm around so many people who are younger than me all the time. Oh man, almost all of the time when I'm out with my friends, it is Wilbur's favorite thing to point out when it is true, which is almost every time, that I am the oldest one there. And it's weird, but I don't feel like I'm older than them. I don't feel like I'm any more mature. I have a few more years, and by a few, I mean like 2, under my belt, which maybe makes a difference sometimes, but really ultimately what it comes to is the experiences somebody's had in those years can make someone more or less mature. And as far as just the number goes, yeah, I'm usually the oldest one of my friends when I'm out. I do give little sister vibes, though. I don't come across as being the oldest one, usually. I am older than H, yeah. Only by months, though. We're both the same age, but I'm a few months older than him. But yeah. I don't ever really feel like there's such a big difference between me and the people I'm hanging out with. Until I'm with Tommy. He feels a lot younger than me, and he is a lot younger than me. I think anyone else like Scott, Wilbur, also feel the same way, that they can tell he is a significant amount younger. But when I'm with Wilbur, Scott, James, all of our other friends out here that are like in their mid-lower 20s, I don't feel like it's such a big difference, because I think we've all had enough experiences to be at a very similar maturity level, so I don't feel like I'm an old person hanging out with a bunch of kids. And I'm not even that much older, but it feels like I am when I know I'm the oldest. And shout out to anyone 28 to late 30s, because we're also just not even old, though. We're not even old, though. When you see Phil, you are the oldest. Yes, and I love when he's around. I love when he's around because he's not. That means I'm not the oldest. Yes, 30 doesn't make you old. I know. But I will never be able to shake that feeling of like feeling like my better younger years are behind me. Even though the rational part of my brain is like, that's literally not even true. If we're speaking very honestly, the better years are in front of me right now. Me being 28, my better years are ahead, truthfully. I know that that's going to be the truth, even though it feels like I'm getting older. And I know probably for everybody, even if you know 30s are going to be great, turning that 30 is a big deal and probably doesn't feel great no matter what, even if you know you're not old. Yeah. I don't think that's something you can really shake when it happens to you. But I am very well aware, I'm pretty sure the best years of my life are in front of me right now. But also all the years behind me were very great and I'm very grateful for, but they're definitely not the last of my good years are gone. That's definitely not true. And anyone who tells you that or wants you to feel bad for being in your 30s or close to 30s, just wait, because they don't even know yet. They'll be there too one day, and then they'll get it. Age is weird. Also, age is just a number when we're talking in this case. Sometimes that number is very important. Sometimes that number is a big deal. But when it comes to what we're talking about now, yeah, it's just a number. I feel like my soul feels like I'm still 24, though. If I put an age to my soul. But then again, I have had a lot of life experiences, and I am glad to be 28 and know the things that I know. And you gain a certain amount of self-confidence that just comes with being a little bit older and with a few more extra years on you. You stop caring as much about the people around you and what they might be thinking. And I think that just comes with having a little bit of extra years on you. And that's what makes being late 20s, 30s better, because you care so much less about those things and you care about them so much when you're in your 20s. I also feel like the media makes you think that while you're in your 20s, and it makes people who are in their 20s hyper aware of that they're in these years that are supposed to be so monumental, the best years, your like peak years of being young, which is all entirely not true, but can feel that way. You have to accomplish a certain amount of things while you're in your 20s, and if you don't, you failed. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. Don't tell me how old you are. Sorry, I don't want to know. Honestly, I get it for the people who are saying I'm 30 something, I'm 20, though, you know, we don't have to go out of the way to delete those, but you kids out there, you teens, I don't want to know about it. Don't tell me how old you are. Okay. Let's see. I really wish I could read how many are in here. I might switch to the Twitter ones soon. I think a lot of people actually ended up sending the same ones. A lot of these are repeats too. A lot of people telling me that that I prefer England to America, which isn't true. In some ways, maybe. That's why I'm in the unfortunate position of feeling like I'm just gonna have to live in both places at some point. I'm gonna have both be my home. And I'm gonna have to split my time between the two of them. What have I done to myself by coming out here as much as I have? And it sucks because some of my absolute best and closest friends are here. And I hate when I leave them, and I hate feeling like I'm missing out on hanging out when they're hanging out and I'm in LA. But then also some of my closest and best friends are in LA, and I always am sad when I'm here and I'm missing out with hanging out with them. Being between two countries sucks. Why did I do this to myself? But when you have online friends that already are in a different country, I'm glad that I'm able to be have my time between two countries and even be able to visit here as often as I can, because regardless of if I ever came here, some of my absolute best and closest friends were here, and I'm happy that I get to spend time with both of them in person, my friends from LA and my friends from England. Yeah. But when I'm here, I'm missing like Megan and Joey and Ethan and H. And when I'm there, I'm missing Scott and Wilbur and Tommy and Jack and Nikki. And there's always gonna be FOMO no matter where I am. I am doomed. But I have done this to myself, and so I shall suffer. But also be grateful for all of the friends that I have and that I can come back and forth and visit them and see them, because so many of us have online friends in different countries that we may never see. And that's unfortunate, and I'm very grateful that I do get to see mine. I would love to teleport. If I picked a single power, I would pick to be able to teleport simply and only because I would like to be able to teleport between between these countries to visit my friends. And for no other reason. I wouldn't use it for good at all. I would teleport for purely selfish reasons only. You dislike driving. That one... Ooh, I had a crack. You know what I noticed about England? Wait, before I get sidetracked. I love to drive. Driving is my absolute favorite thing. It is my time to listen to music, usually, when I'm back in LA. I love going on drives. Like, my time in my car is almost like my therapy, where... Ooh, okay. What was the other thing I was going to say? I don't want to lose either of these things, because... Oh, no, I already did. It's gone. Oh, that sucks. Can I get it back? It's gone. It is gone. All right, the only one... I dislike driving. We'll just go on that tangent. I can't remember what the other tangent was anymore. It's literally lost forever. Driving is literally like my therapy, where if I spend too much time in my house and don't go out in my car, and it doesn't matter if I've gone out with friends, out of my house, I need my time in my car, where it feels like the only time that I can shut off the other things that I'll always have buzzing in my mind. Because when you're in your car and you're driving from point A to point B, everything becomes not... How do I explain this? I don't know how to use my words. Everything's put on pause. There is no email to be answered. There is no work to be done. There is no text that I need to answer because I am driving. And everything can wait until I get to where I'm going. So that time when I'm in my car, however long it is like my moment of peace to have my brain have nothing else in it. And no matter what, if I'm home, or if I'm out with friends, and I'm not in my car, my brain is always buzzing with the things that I need to do when I'm home. Or the thoughts of like creative ideas that I have when I'm out with my friends and things that I want to do when I'm live and stream ideas. Or emails that I need to answer if I'm in my home. I always have something in my mind that I could be doing, or a work thing, or even a text to answer from a friend that isn't a work thing. But when I'm in the car, everything stops. Everything can be shut off. Everything can wait until I get to where I am going. Even if I'm not going anywhere in specific, I'm just in the car on a drive. It's my time to like have my brain finally be quiet. It's the only way that I can get my brain to be quiet. I have a billion ideas and thoughts constantly. I think I have ADHD, pretty certain. So there's just always things buzzing. But when I'm in the car, I can make it all stop and slow down. Even what I used to do at my old apartment, I was really, really stressed in my apartment that I originally had when I got Rocket before I had moved in with Megan. And the two cats, one being in the bathroom crying and the other one being uncomfortable, and it was a very tight space. I got stressed a lot. And what I would do is I would just go sit in the parking garage. I wouldn't even leave. I would just sit in the car and put on music. So my car is like my safe, peaceful zone. If that could be my equivalent of meditating, that probably would be what it is for me. It's so important to me. And if I go too long not going to my car and putting on my Spotify, listening to my music, I start getting really anxious. My anxiety peaks. I had a week where I didn't leave my apartment, which is just a different problem, but I didn't go in my car. And as soon as I got in my car, I was like, oh, that's why I felt like absolute garbage and like the world was ending. It was just because I didn't go in my car for a little while. I think everybody needs that thing. That is their thing that they can like go to that place in their head to make everything stop for a little bit. For me, that is my car, and driving is my favorite thing in the world. It does kind of make me sad I can't do it here. I can. I just don't want to. One, I don't want to rent a car out here. It's terrifying to drive here in the first place. Two, in Brighton, there is just nowhere to put a car anyway. But luckily I am surrounded by so many people and I'm having such a nice time, and I do have my alone time and my me time, and I go to the beach and I sit. So I'm still doing okay without my car, but I do miss having my car and being able to drive. Driving equals shutting down. Yeah, it's my shutdown moment, but also very aware of the road, very safely driving, but being a shutdown. I wish I could remember what the other thing I wanted to say was. I was about to go on a different tangent, and I was real hyped for it, but I didn't want to start a question and then not finish it before. But that's gone now, whatever that thought was. Yeah, it's gone forever. Have you tried getting a bus in the UK? I've been on a bus a couple of times when I needed to. I've been on the train a lot. You said you noticed something about the UK. I remembered. You know what's weird? It is not worth it. It was so not worth it to remember what this was. I crack less out here. My neck cracks less in England. Why? My fingers don't crack as frequently when I'm here. My neck doesn't crack. That one crack I just did is the first in days. I haven't been able to crack my neck because I just haven't had anything to crack. What's up with that? I just thought it was weird. I don't know why I got so excited about that. It was not worth it. It was so not worth it. But it is a strange thing that I've definitely noticed, and it's definitely true. I don't think it's lack of stress. I think it's something about the air. I just crack less as a person. I don't crack when I'm stressed. I just am always cracking my fingers no matter what. And that would imply when I'm back home in America, I'm in a constant state of stress. You might be onto something. I don't think so, though. I just crack less out here. Is it the air? Is it the air pressure? Is it the sea? The salt in the air? I don't know, but my fingers, I can't crack as often. And I know that it's true because I crack my fingers like every 30 minutes back home, and they always got something to be cracked in them. And my neck, I'll crack at least every day, if not multiple times a day. And out here, some days I can't crack it. I go days and it won't crack. And it doesn't hurt or anything. It's not something I need to force. I don't have to crack my neck, but I just noticed there's no little air bubble floating around to be cracked as much out here. So weird. Must be the different air pressure. Might be the fact I'm in a whole different, like, area of the hemisphere. I don't know, but it's just something I noticed. I'd love science people to be able to figure that one out for me. I don't know. But I crack less. I just cracked all my toes, though. I think my nose, but all of those were wrong. All of my toes always usually crack, though. In fact, I have a toe that I can always crack. Can you hear it? It gets tiring to do, but I can crack a toe infinitely. One of them. Fun fact. I want to skip the... Yeah, I want to skip the Stardew. Ooh, there was a hidden crack on that side. Now we're done. Now we're done. That is a loud toe crack. Oh, so you could hear it. Oh, good. It can keep going forever. It never stops. Okay. Let's go to Twitter. I can answer more of the Instagram ones anytime. Like I can... Oh my god, I could... Can I just show you? How far does it go? That was Joey. I got a text from my friend! Hi! Ooh, he's sending me secret Empires things for his empire. We talk Empires a lot. And we send each other inspo. Oh, there it is. There's the bottom. I didn't even start showing you from the top, though. Look at this. Wait, can I... Oh, well. Yeah, there's a lot. I don't know how many are in here. But I'm gonna switch to Twitter, because I did ask also on Twitter for assumptions. And I can keep answering these on Instagram through the night if I feel like it. Also, I had a couple of my college friends DM me when I mentioned the Slender story on my Instagram story and be like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. I remember that. Twitter. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's see. Excitement of getting a message from a friend is all really relatable. Also because of my LA friends that I miss and I don't get to see, but at least we could play Minecraft together, me and Joey. I gotta do a stream with H. Gotta figure out just something to play. But also I'm going home soon, kind of. What does Twitter have for me? You're a room temp water drinker. That one's from Autumn. Not by choice, but yeah, I do a lot sometimes. But that's because, especially when I'm in England, I'm just drinking from the tap. And honestly, I drink from the tap back home too. Don't, am I gonna die? I drink tap water in my area of LA, which I do believe it is safe to do. It tastes fine, but tap water can only be so cold. I prefer cold water. I just don't have a filter in my fridge. So I drink kind of warm water because I usually... Like this, I've had this water bottle all day, so it's warm now. So you're right, but only by circumstances, not by choice. It has a typo and I'm not gonna try and fix it. You cry on the slightest emotionally tolling animated movie. I cry on the slightest emotionally tolling commercial. Kitty Amana, thank you for subscribing. Red Cinder, I don't remember if I read that one. Thank you for subbing. It's such a weird thing that I now have noticed. You know how, this is a weird equivalent, but it's just the first thing that I thought of in my brain. You know how when there's like a saying about putting someone in a pot of water and then turning the heat up, that you don't notice that it's boiling because it happens gradually over time? It isn't something that I noticed until I reached the peak of being such an emotional mess all the time. Not even emotional, I'm just sensitive. Because I'm not emotional, I'm very rational. In fact, I would say I'm a person that worked very hard and went to therapy to be what I would call very emotionally intelligent, in my opinion. I wouldn't call myself smart usually, which is also just being self-deprecating, but I do find myself to be someone who's a very emotionally intelligent person, but I'm such a sensitive little bean. But I didn't always used to be this way. It was really hard for me to cry as a kid. I wasn't much of a crier as like a teenager. Sad things didn't make me cry. Sad movies didn't make me cry. I watched My Dog Skip and I didn't cry. If you know what that movie is, it's basically my dog Marley, whatever that one is, Marley and Me, before, like the Marley before Marley was Marley, my dog Skip. If I watched that now, I would be in tears for sure. And I don't know how or when it happened, but from that point until now, I have very slowly over time gradually become easier of a crier when it comes to things that are emotional. And I can cry at the saddest even mention of something. Like someone can just start a story that I can tell is like a little bit of an emotional, sad thing. They might not even get into the details of what makes it sad, but they just mention something. My brain takes it away and I begin crying. And I don't know how to make it stop. It's too much. I don't know how to make it, I don't know how to not cry. I cry too easily at things that people tell me when they're emotional things, emotional stories from their childhood, even just the slight mention of it, and then they move on in whatever story they're telling. I'm in tears. I just cry so easy. I'm just so sensitive. Is it debilitating? Does it stop me from being able to function and do work or think rationally? No. So don't even try me with that. But I think my empathy has possibly reached a peak. And it truly is actually a problem because I've started to... I'm going to sound like one of those people that's like, I'm an empath. But I can and am very aware when other people feel certain ways. And then I will feel that way. And it sucks because I have no way of stopping it or being in control of it. And even when someone is tired, I was hanging out. I had a great night's sleep. Listen, I had a full 10, maybe even 11 hours sleep. Completely awake, completely energized, had coffee. I start hanging out with somebody that didn't have a very good night's sleep and they told me I only slept for like a couple hours. I spent a few hours with them. I am exhausted. I feel like I need a nap. I feel like I didn't have a good night's sleep. I feel like I need an immediate lay down because my eyes are heavy and I'm like, I didn't feel this way an hour ago. I was fine and I had a full night's sleep. There's no reason I should be tired, but I sucked their tiredness off of them and became tired. And that's not even so much an emotion, but I felt it and it took me out. And the whole rest of the day I couldn't do anything. So maybe it is debilitating, but it doesn't make me irrational. It doesn't make my decision making less. I'm a really logical person when it comes to decision making. Very much not emotion based. But I'm very aware of emotions and very in tune with my emotions, which is why I would say I'm emotionally intelligent. But if somebody around me is feeling a certain way, I will suck it off of them, and then my day's ruined. And I don't know how to make it not be that way. I think that because I have such an awareness of it, I can kind of put it in a little box and put it away, and recognize that's not yours. You're feeling it, but it isn't yours, so just put it over here. The tiredness one, I don't know how to get rid of being tired when I'm around people who are tired. The energy just is brought down, and so I go with it. What can you do? But now I'm concerned because if I ever follow my path, my like mid-30s plan or 40s plan, which is to go be a therapist, I'm gonna be destroyed. I'm gonna be destroyed by everyone who walks in my office. But I'm hoping that's something that you can learn to you know, put somebody else's emotion that you can feel in a little box and put it over here. Be aware of it, recognize it, notice it's not yours, and put it away. I also can do that when other people have emotions towards me, which is a really, really handy thing to have the awareness of. When somebody else is angry at you for something, or upset with you about something, or is being mean to you over something, when you can recognize, oh, this isn't me. I didn't actually do anything. This isn't about me, this feeling that they're having. They're putting it on me, but it isn't for me. That's a really handy thing to be able to recognize when somebody's, I don't know, like angry and then they direct it at you, but you didn't do anything, or are being mean to you and are being a bit of a bully. It's good to be able to be like, oh, it's not actually about me. Because when you're a kid and people are bullying you, you're not able to recognize when kids have like weird jealousy issues or whatever they end up having, whatever they end up bullying you for, it's not easy for a child to be like, to recognize it isn't them that's the problem. Of course, a kid is going to think they're the problem when you're always angry at them or bullying them or picking on them or insulting things that you're insecure about. But when people do that, it isn't actually about you at all. It's about them. And when you're able to recognize that, everything gets so much better. Dealing with other people who are just not nice people becomes so much better when you're like, oh, they have anger, but it isn't for me. It's for somebody else that hurt them at some other point in their time and they need therapy for it. But I didn't do it. It isn't mine. It isn't for me. And so I will not let it affect me or bring my energy down. I'm a big energy person. Do I sound like a weirdo now? Let's see. What other assumptions? I keep going on tangents. You cried from seeing an animal you really like at the zoo. Okay, see, that's the other thing is I'm not really a happy crier. I can feel happiness, obviously, and I'll feel when other people are happy, and I get excited when other people are excited. In fact, there's something that somebody has noticed about me, and I hate that they figured it out because they can use it against me now. And it's if this Wilbur who does it, he does it and he knows. If you gasp, I gasp. If you're making a noise out of excitement because you saw something, you gasp, I gasp. I don't even know what it is yet, but I will respond exactly the same way that you have. So if somebody sees a dog and they're like, oh, I'll go, oh, what? You're excited? I'm excited. But I don't cry from being happy. So I've never cried at seeing an animal at the zoo. But if it hasn't become clear how much I am sensitive, I did cry when watching the show Alone. If you know this show, they send 100 people, or not 100 people, they send a number of people for 100 days into the Arctic Circle. And they have to survive. And on 2 occasions I cried because I was sad for the animals. Because on one, they had shot an ox of some kind of an ox. And the thing that made me cry was the caption at the bottom that said 5 hours later and the animal was still kind of stumbling around. I broke down because I was so sad that it was taking so long. And there was nothing they could do to make it faster because you can't approach this animal. They might kill you. And it was just so sad that 5 hours later, it was still up and just struggling. And eventually it did die, but I was so sad for this ox. And then another episode of this show, a different season, this guy is in his little tent. He's struggling to find food. He isn't getting luck with fish. He isn't getting any big game. It's a really interesting show to watch, but if you don't want to see people hunt animals, you shouldn't watch it. I'm not a fan of hunting either. I don't like the idea of it. But it's a really fascinating show to see people live off of the land and survive off of the land for 100 days in the Arctic Circle, how people have done before in the past when that was the only option. But another episode, this guy, he was not getting any luck with food, but there was one animal that he had constantly near him, which was a squirrel. And he named this squirrel, and he befriended this squirrel over the course of a few days. But after a few days of not getting any other animal to eat, he caught the squirrel, and he killed the squirrel, and he ate it. And then he left the show immediately because he felt so guilty over doing it. And I cried because I felt so bad with him. It was sad. He made friends and named it, and then he ate him. Don't name the animals you're going to eat, although he didn't know he was going to have to eat him. But when you go 3 days without food, and that's your only option out there. After he did it, it's a shame that he didn't think of leaving the show before if he was going to do it anyway. But I think after eating it and seeing how awful he felt about having to go through it and recognizing he still doesn't have other food, he knew he wasn't going to be able to stay out there. They also don't let you stay. They have a medical team that will come if, like, one girl got frostbite on her toe and they had to pull her out when it got to a certain point because they won't let you die. They won't let you starve. They won't let you lose a limb. And they do every week medical checks to check up on your health. So he knew he wasn't going to be able to stay, but he ate the squirrel and I cried. It was so sad. Pepper Kitty, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate it. I would have never named it though. He probably should have, realistically in terms of this show, he probably should have done that on day 1, but it just sounded like he got unlucky with the area he was living in. and unlucky with not catching fish and unlucky with not having an ox come by or a deer. The guy that got the ox, he won the show, I'm pretty sure. That ox won him the show. It was the moment I saw that it said 5 hours later that I was like, he had to be like that for 5 hours. That was so sad. Also, the man stood there and watched this thing for 5 hours. Because you can't approach it to like make it quick. Them's is strong, tough animals. What was the question? I don't remember anymore. But yeah. What is this show? I'm pretty sure it's called Alone, right? Other seasons, they just send a number of people to the Arctic Circle for a certain number of days. But I think the latest season was the biggest prize and the longest amount of time that they needed to stay. Or I think before it was just whoever could stay the longest. But this time it was you had to stay 100 days to win the money. And it was like $1 million. What was cool was the top 3 people, it was one guy who won and the other 2 were women. And the one woman who came in second is the woman who caught frostbite on her toe. And if it wasn't for that, she would have won. And it was so sad because she clearly really wanted it. But it's also insane to watch because when you compare the way that she looked on day like 90 something that she had to get pulled out and day 1, her cheekbones were so hollow. You can tell how much weight she had lost from being out there and just not eating enough. It isn't good for you. It wasn't healthy. I wouldn't recommend it probably, but it is really interesting and fascinating to watch people just live off the land, build a shelter, survive in the cold, but also a little bit brutal. A little bit like, why? You don't have to. That's how I felt about camping for a really long time too. It was like, I get it, but also why sleep on the ground when you could just sleep inside in a bed with heat and air and be comfortable? I didn't get it. I don't get camping. We have houses now. Why would you choose to sleep in the dirt? With the bugs. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have for assumptions? I think I'm going to do it for like another 30 minutes and then I'm going to go while it's still light out. It stays light out for a really long time here though. And there's like such a short period of darkness out here where the sun sets at like 10 p.m. and then it comes right back up at 3. I went to bed at like 3:30 last night and the sun was up. I don't like that. That's so weird. It's very jarring. I haven't stayed up long enough to see the sunrise since I was a kid because that's not till like usually 5 or 7 in the morning. But no, here it's like 3 a.m. The sky starts to get brighter. You hear the birds. They're loud. They're really loud. That's just because it's summer. I mean, obviously, but even summer in America isn't like that. It's just in England it's like that, which is my point, is that it's a very different experience here in England because the sun rises at 3 in the morning in the summer. In LA, the sun's not up at 3 in the morning in the summer. So yeah, it's one thing that it's summer, but my point is, it's a different country. And it is entirely different from mine, and it's very weird and jarring, and I also hate how loud the seagulls are at 3 in the morning when I am going to bed. The solar system, thank you for the prime, appreciate it. Thank you so much. The days are longer in the summer, but shorter in the winter here. Yeah, and when you say longer, you mean way longer than anything I've ever experienced. I know Alaska is one of those places that like have sun for a few months and then darkness for a few months. I've never been there either. That would also be probably pretty jarring for me. You had a phase where you only ate ramen or chicken? AKA college life? Actually, no. I did have ramen occasionally and like cup of noodles. But usually because I paid for the pass to let you eat at the like cafeteria, like I got a meal a day with my student meal pass. I usually ate there and they had a lot of different options. There were also multiple cafeterias I could choose to go eat at, and some had pizza, soup, salad, sandwiches, all different types of hot meals every day that were different. So I actually wasn't big on the ramen. There was a period after college when I went and was living in LA. I've had a couple of different phases of what I would eat I had a Big Mac and cheese era. And I also had a really long period of Subway for every meal, dinner and lunch. But I was like having a big sad that time. So my month of Subway wasn't very good. But I did have Subway for every meal, and I'd usually order 2 sandwiches at lunchtime, so I'd have my dinner sandwich ready. And there are worse things if you're eating the same thing every single day and ordering out. There are worse options. Subway was probably one of the better ones, and I'd always make it like a different sandwich every time. But, yeah. You seem like you like dragonflies. Nope, there is no good bug. All of them are bad and scary. Jimmy John's is better than Subway? Jersey Mike's is better than all of them, though. Jersey Mike's is the best one. Oh, you know what? There aren't actually that many answers on Twitter. I might have to go back to Instagram. I might also just wrap up in 10 minutes. I'm feeling a little bit hungry. I think I'm gonna go get some food. I might see who's around to go out and eat food. But I will keep reading until then. Hiccup. Woodlice are not cute. Kitty Amana, thank you for the 100 bits. You know what? They don't have Jersey Mike's out here, though, which is sad. Obviously, they don't, though. They should consider it in the original Jersey to have Jersey Mike's. You know, the English Jersey, for which New Jersey is named after. Bing, bing, bing. Bing, bing. Mel, they, them, thank you for the prime. Kitty Amana, thank you for gifting a sub. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. The better Jersey? Which one? New Jersey's the better Jersey. I don't know anything about Jersey here in England. I'm sorry. Don't know a damn thing. Oh, you know what? Sneak is out here as of today, too. So I'm going to just be going and seeing what my friends are all up to tonight. I know Scott is away, though. But I'll be seeing him later. Big strawberry fan. I do like strawberries. I'm a big fruit fan in general. In fact, I think what I'm going to start doing when I'm out here in England is getting, at the very least, a small amount of groceries. And I think I'm going to get fruits like apples and strawberries and orange juice and sandwich stuff so that I'm not literally ordering food or going out for every meal, which is currently what I am doing and kind of the only option I have. I can't cook on a stove because I don't want to have to buy my own set of pots and pans to leave here. But I want to be able to make food for myself every once in a while so I don't have to order every time. Srubs, thank you for gifting a sub. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. You like pink lemonade more than regular lemonade? Actually, no. I do really like to make lemonade myself, but I don't make it pink. I'll go out and buy like 6 lemons and a bunch of sugar, and I'll make lemonade, but not really pink. You hate bananas. I'm pretty sure this person knows that I hate bananas. I'm pretty sure this person isn't making an assumption, but just knows that I do in fact hate bananas. I just don't like them. I don't like the texture, and I don't like the taste either. Not a fan. Not a fan. You're the kind of person who mains Yoshi during Mario Kart. I actually don't have a main in Mario Kart. I don't play it much. I'm very not good at it. TJ Rods, thank you for all... You've been gifting so many subs. Thank you for the 25 gifted subs. Oh, we really actually are almost to our goal. Oh, that's kind of scary. I don't have my cat. You have to wait until I'm back home to redeem that part. Thank you for subscribing as well. Thank you for all the gifted subs. I really appreciate it. Thank you for 25 gifted subs. Thank you. Seth is Fruity, thank you for subscribing. Which one was I reading? What was I saying? Oh, I don't really frequent Mario Kart, so I don't have a main. I think I actually usually pick like Baby Peach or Rosalina, or I change it every time. I have a main when it comes to Smash. I'm always one of the Links, usually young Link because he's quicker. And I prefer him because I'm used to how to play as him from the previous Smashes. But Mario Kart I'm not good at, and I don't have a main at all. But Yoshi would be my main in Mario Party. If I always got to have my pick first, I'd always pick Yoshi, and then Smash is Link, always. I can pretty much play any sword character though. They're all kind of the same roughly. I'll play Marth every once in a while, Ike, but he's really slow, but he hits really hard. I haven't played Smash in a really long time. You know what sucks about my friend group? Nobody in it likes playing Smash. All of them are up for Mario Party, which is great, I love that. All of them are up for Mario Kart, which is fine, even though I'm really not good at it. But no one ever is wanting to play Super Smash Brothers. And that's the one I love and am good at. But no one ever wants to play it. It truly is a shame. In college, with my college friends, we would play it constantly. We'd play it all of the time. And I got really good at Link, and I got good at, like, Lucina I also really like to play. Pit. I like playing Pit. Pit's good. They're scared. Yeah, you're probably right. They're just scared. Maybe I can find a group to convince to play Mario Kart Night. I mean, oh, shoot. Smash Night! Smash Night! I want Smash Night. I assume you have glitter on you constantly. As long as you don't count my highlighter that has little glitters in it, which if you do, yes. Yes. Otherwise, I don't actually use glitter in makeup anymore. I did have a phase of using it like underneath my eyes and all over, but I was constantly getting it in my eyes, and I always have very easily irritated eyes. So I don't use glitter anymore. No more chunky glitters unless a special occasion comes up. I don't wear things that are glittery like clothes. But if my highlighter, which has little glitters in it, counts, then I am always sparkling with glitter. That's also shiny because I'm oily. I literally went through all the Twitter ones. I actually didn't know there were so few. But hey, we did it. We read a bunch of assumptions. It was a really great time. Appreciate you being cool and sending really neat ones to answer. All of the ones that were not so neat ones to answer, that were a bit too invasive, what are you doing? You should know better. What is up? Hey, let's have a conversation. Certain questions we just don't ask streamers. It's the sooner we all learn this, the better for everyone. Invasive questions about relationships, ex-relationships, potential ex-friendships that aren't even ex-friendships. You just assume it because you don't see as many interactions on Twitter. A reminder, not all friendships exist online over Twitter. In fact, so many of mine, like my friends throughout all of the years, very rarely have I ever had a falling out with a friend. And this is also something that no streamer will ever explain to you or is ever obligated to explain when they have had a falling out or not. That's really inappropriate to have a conversation about on stream, in my opinion. Not the thing to talk about to people that you don't know. But also, I very rarely had, like, a falling out with friends. Just sometimes people do different things as friends. They go different directions, especially making content, make different kinds of videos, or just don't use Twitter as much. But those friendships are still there, even if you don't see them. And it isn't your place to ask about them and see which ones are still going and which ones may be ended, because that's weird. I don't know you. I'm not going to talk about the friendships that maybe didn't work out on stream or the relationships that maybe didn't work out on stream. It isn't the place for it. You know what I mean? Do you get it? You feel me? The more we all know and understand that those are questions that, like, none of us want to answer. Pretty blanket statement generalizing, unless a streamer, like, specifically is, like, all cards on the table, which I don't know of any that are like that. Bit invasive and personal to ask about the private relationships that go on in our lives. Not all of them exist online. Some of them are not for you. And that's okay. I love all the things that I do share with you guys. I share a lot, but most of my life happens off stream, and there's a lot of things that you won't know about me as a person because we don't know each other like that. Our relationship's different. You know what I mean? I know you guys know what I mean. I think most of the time when people ask the things that are a little bit too personal and invasive, they're usually kids. They're usually young, so they don't understand why it's inappropriate and even sometimes overstepping, sometimes rude, sometimes a little bit like you should have the common sense to not ask these kinds of things. I think they're kids usually. So I don't think most people mean anything by it, but hey, let's all think for a moment. If the answer to this question is some kind of a detailed personal story, is she really gonna want to say that on stream to me? Probably not, no. More often than not, no. It wouldn't get talked about on stream. So hey, thank you. This is fun. I really liked doing this. I want to do another one where I go on Instagram and put a questions prompt for confessions, like just anonymous confessions. On Instagram, I will see the account that posted it, but when I put them to my story, it doesn't show who it's from. So as long as you trust me with it, it is anonymous, and I really want to do a confessions one. I think Nikki did that recently, and it looked fun. It looked like a cool stream to do. And I just like having chats and talking. I also like helping out with advice here and there with things that I feel like I know a little bit about, because I do have experience. I am 28 years old. And I maybe want to do this again, because it was fun. But, that is going to be all we do for today. Ty Believe, thank you for the Prime. Jason, thank you for gifting a sub. Let me go get the hugs. And we're going to raid, and I'm going to go get dinner somewhere. It did get really warm at one point in here. I really don't know why I'm in a sweater. I didn't come here with much else. I'll be going to Amsterdam, potentially with sweaters too. I made an order of clothes because I forgot a couple that I meant to bring for outfits I had planned with my trip to Amsterdam. And I made a new order. I don't think they're going to be here in time. So I might be out of luck. I might be having to need to go on a shopping trip in Amsterdam, maybe. Or just here, possibly. I can always ask Scott to go on a shopping trip. He's always down. And I do love shopping. Hugs. Yellow is sleeping. Sungmin's lover. I don't know if I said that correctly. I think I probably didn't, so I'm sorry. And that's it. Bring it in for your 2 hugs. Thank you for joining. All right. Let's see who's live. No suggestions for raids, please. I will pick. I don't want to know who you want me to raid at all, in fact. My name is Daniel. Thank you for the Prime. Thank you everyone who subbed today and gifted subs. That's so insanely nice. I appreciate you. Thank you for sending bits as well today. Thank you, thank you. I will be live tomorrow, I think, at some point. And it may or may not be my last stream, because Wednesdays I don't stream. Although if I end up not streaming tomorrow, I might do a stream Wednesday anyway instead. So we'll see. But then I go to Amsterdam, then I go home, then I go on another trip that I can't talk about because it's a secret. And then I go home again, and I'll be back for MCC, and that'll be the next stream you'll see after either tomorrow or the day after. We'll see. But hey, thank you all for joining. Bing, 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 do, 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 do. I'm gonna have you guys raid Vixella, my friend Sasha. She is one of the absolute loveliest and also funniest people I know. And she's playing Nancy Drew, which I actually was recommended to play at some point. So maybe, because it looks like fun. But go with the absolute nicest people in her chat. If you don't know the rules, ask the mods, don't break them by accident. And go in there bringing your good vibes. And thanks for your good vibes here today. This guy's staying smiling because of you. But thanks for joining. I had fun reading your assumptions. most of them were very nice anyway. Honestly, I had a very rarely even honestly, not even a mean one, any of them. They were so nice, and a lot of them were right. Actually, I don't remember. Well, I don't know what the ratio in the stream of right ones to wrong ones was. It might have actually been more wrong, but it was fun. Go join the raid. Go spread the love. Go bring your vibes, and I appreciate you guys. I'll see you all tomorrow and or Wednesday instead. Goodbye, everyone.